Hello, and welcome to the 71st episode of the Destiny Community Podcast, brought to you by Scuff Gaming Controllers. This week,
stuff.
Pope, do the interview. I'm done. Already done.
Hey, Patrick,
This week.
on your way out, don't forget to hit record.
Yeah,
Hit record.
Hit record.
All right, so the two gentlemen that have joined us tonight.
Hold on. I threw my pin up in the air, and it perfectly landed on the lip of my water bottle like this.
Dude, wow.
Did you have a separate
that is a new meme.
video for that?
New challenge. Call it the Patty Challenge.
Just end the podcast now. We're good to go.
That could be a YouTube video right there.
Coming out. I appreciate you being here, man.
All right, so we have two fine, outstanding gentlemen on the podcast tonight. Peanut butter and toast, and toast and butter, right?
Toast of butter.
Of butter.
Butter is the family name.
Let's just start there. Let's just start there.
Okay.
Why the names? Are you just huge fans of toast?
You want the truth?
I want the truth.
I want the whole truth.
I don't want
the whole loaf.
I want made up stuff that's more entertaining than the truth.
I feel like the stream needs to like blur up right now, and it needs to go back like 17 years in the past. Here we were beta testers on Xbox Live. My brother was actually entering us in because we had a certain bunch of instructions that we were to follow to hook this thing up. When it came down to what's your gamer tag? I didn't even know what the heck a gamer tag was. So at the time, I happened to have a spoonful of Skippy chunky peanut butter, and I was snacking on it.
Chunky.
Yeah, chunky.
Chunky.
It's got texture. You gotta have
I understand it. You were young. Times were hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
mean,
so
is it still chunky?
Yeah, always. It's always
misguided
chunky.
perspective in life.
Who are you getting for guests these days, man? You're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Hey, we like pineapple on pizza over here too. So.
I had that yesterday.
We're okay.
Right, cool.
That was yesterday for me.
All right, so you had some peanut butter. That was your inspiration.
My brother said, "What do you want your gamer tag to be?" And I said, "I don't care. What should it be?" And he goes, "Oh, let's just put peanut butter in there," and it just stuck. So we went through, we did the thing, and 17 years later, here we are, doing the same thing. Actually, funny story too, because it was a Bungie game that we were playing back then, also, which was Halo.
Yeah,
It upsets me greatly that it's been 17 years since we've created our gamer tags.
Be insane. Yeah. I mean, some of those went before.
Look on my Xbox, Briar. It says 17 years or something.
Does it?
It's something crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Older than most of the people I play with.
Toast, your dad started this trend then, and yes. Did you carry on with it? Is this your own?
Was a joke at the time, because I mean, he had a friend that made a name called Ann Jelly. So when they would kill somebody in Splinter Cell, it said peanut butter killed so and so, and jelly killed so and so. So we're like, okay, well, let's make this a whole entire family trait that goes down. And Ed, and Eddie was one of my favorite cartoons at the time. And Butter Toast, that was just his line for some reason. Mm-hmm. You go, Butter Toast. So I tried to do that, but it was taken. So just like reverse the words and you're good to go. Nice. So it became Toast to Butter at that time. And then the butter name has really stuck since then.
I love
I love
the idea. I love the idea of getting killed by Ann Jelly. Peanut butter killed so-and-so.
And
jelly killed so-and-so.
Friends over the 17-year span. I had another guy that's name was Jelly Time, so it was peanut butter jelly time. So and then of course I'll tell you, if I had a nickel for every time I heard some idiot come in, hey, check this out, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. I'd be rich. I'd be going out to lunch with old Dr. D, man. I tell you.
You try to have a copyright infringement happen for that. If anybody says peanut butter, starts singing peanut butter jelly time, it gets paid for it. Didn't work out though. Somebody else had it.
So you guys do. What's your? How does the community know you? You guys do streaming, right? But did you start with Destiny, or what was your first game that you started streaming?
We started streaming Destiny, and we started because we loved raids. We've always loved raids. If I'm being completely honest, the first week that I did the beta on Destiny, I couldn't stand it. I was like, there was no way I'm buying this trash. This game sucks.
And then they started talking about raids. Yeah. And I was like, this sounds really cool.
Hey, raids, what?
Six people?
We started doing that, and one thing led to another, and we got into the raid environment. And when it got through, friends of mine used to always say, dude, you got the personality for this streaming thing. You should stream. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to be bothered. And so one thing led to another, and we weren't talking at the time. He had made some stupid mistakes. And I
like smooth peanut butter.
And I've always been a stickler. I was raised by a military dad, so I just had issues with some of the choices he was making, and it was one of those frustrating times. And we weren't really talking, but we had grown up ever since he was able to hold the controller. We played. We started with the Mario Brothers, the Zeldas.
Yeah, the whole family would gather around on the couch and play the new Zelda game together.
Yeah, he would run out. My mom would do all the searching.
Wait, hold up. Best Zelda game released.
Ocarina. I like Ocarina.
Wind Waker is the one that got me after replaying it. The first time I didn't like it, but Wind Waker got me after replaying. I was like, man, this game is really cool. Best storyline, like kind of the intro to the open world kind of thing.
Sure.
It just had that 20-hour period where you have to farm for rupees, and that sucked.
So that's kind of what got us to this place. And I said, hey, I'm thinking about trying this stream thing. You want to join me? We'll do it. I didn't want to do the whole thing myself.
When was that? That was around the April update year 2, right? Kind of around then.
Yeah. It was after
before Rise of Iron.
We started on King's Fall.
Yeah.
And just kind of went from there. And what had happened is we kept going through LFG.
Yeah.
And we always played with the younger guys. Being a dad, I always kind of looked after, as long as the kids could be respectful and control themselves, they always had a spot to play on our fire team. So we were in LFG one time, and this guy came in and he's like, I'm not playing with this squeaker. And I was like, what are you talking about? Why are you judging him just based on what he sounds like? Because he's a squeaker and I can't stand playing with him. I said, this kid's probably better than you. He's probably better than all of us. Just, mute him if you have to. But, so end up, this kid almost tried at the end because he didn't care about the loot, but he cared that somebody actually stuck with him long enough to play with him. So I
think the first time he almost cried when we killed the War Priest. So it was the first boss, and just like loot drops, and he just screamed, and it was cool. He was just excited. It's the first time he ever saw raid drops.
And that's part of the. So I used to do a lot of raid. You call them raid educations, and I love that you do that. It pulls the viewer away from the concept of a carry, right, or being Sherpa'd, right?
Yeah, we don't believe in carries, man.
And I like to hear more about like that philosophy. How do you make a raid experience a raid-education?
Well, we went back and we tried to break it down this way. You can't carry if you carry somebody, he's up to whatever somebody else wants to subject them to. If he doesn't know a certain part, they can boot him. If he doesn't know a certain aspect of the game or doesn't have a certain weapon, they can boot him. And we wanted to alleviate that. And in order to do that, you got to put people outside their box. You got to make them try different parts of the raid. People get stuck, and people that we see carrying people, put them in the weakest spot on the game. Well, they're not going to learn. They're not going to be better in that position if that's all they can do.
What ends up happening is they just go back to that same team to get that same kind of, I guess, service, and they're never able to raid for themselves.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And we wanted to teach people how to do these raids because most of them have a group of people that they play with on a weekly basis. Whether it's Nightfalls or whatever aspect of the game, they play with the same people every week. So we wanted to break it down and simplify each of the encounters so that they could assimilate the information, teach it to their friends, and do it together. So they didn't have to be obligated to go to some certain place that would carry them through.
Mm-hmm. One of the, I had an opportunity to play with you guys. It was the first time that I'd done the raid layer. And I wanted to go in there and experience what you guys are talking about, and I've seen you stream before. And I think what I enjoyed the most is your calm demeanor when you're coming into an engagement, and you guys, joke around a little bit, and then you go, okay, let's explain. And you have a very clear and efficient way of explaining it. I felt like I was on board. I think that's what's most confusing or most, puts people off about raiding. They just feel like they're going to let the team down. Like they're not going to be able to hold their own, and then they're going to be embarrassed, or they're going to get, kicked out and it just felt like you guys were really cognizant of that fear and really walked me through that process, and I felt like you were really taking care of me. And I think that's what I see in your chat. I see not only you guys doing that, but your chat is from all these people you've helped over the years. They stick around, right? And they're in the chat picking up other people and demonstrating those same ideals. And I really feel like that's something that we should highlight and champion here, is that you've built this community about helping others. Absolutely. And I just, I applaud you guys for that.
Yeah, it's that whole idea at the very beginning. I mean, if we met somebody on LFG that didn't know how to raid, we could teach it to them, then they could go and teach it to somebody else, and just have a snowball effect, makes the community a better place. And our
create that ripple that just keeps expanding.
Yeah, and our community currently has that. I mean, especially in the past couple weeks since, the prestige rate has really kind of blown up. There's now like these double loot drops. You get normal and prestige. Mm-hmm. So more people have been playing, and specifically in our Discord, every single platform has teams that are constantly going together.
And they try and race us now. Yeah. So we'll pull a raffle through, and we'll get 5 other teams. All right, let's go, man. And we'll, the in-game currency, we'll give each teammate, 1,000 of our in-game currency if they can beat us.
Which is EBT, because we are the nation. Yeah. We dispense EBT.
EBT.
Perfect.
So that brings me to a good question. You are the WTFGamenation. Can you can you explain where the name for your group came from?
Depends on who we're talking to at any given time. If my mom's in the channel and we've got a bunch of our younger, the high chair mafia, then we are the family. That's what the WTFGamenation stands.
And then anything else, everybody could probably guess what it stands for.
Everybody could probably guess. It's where's the food?
Where's the food?
Come on. That's what it is.
We have heart-shaped tacos, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So
I hear you guys talking about tacos, so I thought I'd wear this special shirt tonight that just in honor of your commitment to where
do you stand with Taco Bell? Like, if somebody brought Taco Bell tacos, where do you stand with that?
It's
not you, Pope.
You don't want to ask me, man. I like seafood, man. I see food, I eat it.
Yeah,
I'm a big dude, man. I don't hold any prejudice toward any taco, man.
We need to know more about your taco Bell.
Regardless of the taco, where it came from. So if it shows up from Taco Bell, you're gonna eat the taco? All right. Yeah.
So we live in Southern California too. So
I was gonna say
taco stands. It's you don't say no to a taco. If a taco is offered, you don't say no to it. But
it's just being polite.
There are some tacos that are a little bit better than others.
A little bit.
A little better? You are being too politically correct right now. If the podcast is going to be you.
Sponsorship over there.
Yeah, right? Hey, Tefty has the bell emote.
Yeah, he's got the bell. What are you talking to us for?
It's a meme. It's a meme, man.
It is a meme.
It's a meme.
Hey,
all right.
You can meme it up all you want. I've seen you drink Baja Blast.
One time.
You were hooked, sir. You were hooked.
And I was like high on the Baja Blast and parched at the exact same time, which kept on drinking it. I had the effects afterwards. 2 days later, had a headache from it. Yeah.
I want to tell you that there is nothing better in my experience. I can give you this for Taco Bell. There is no better liquid that coming back up and vomiting than Baja Blast. I'll give them that. I mean, it is
so good you want to taste it twice.
Yeah, it's flavorful. It coats your throat.
That's what they call the blast. The blast. The blast.
Out now.
You get Baja,
and then
you get
blast.
So thanks very much, guys, for coming on. We're going to hear more about your exploits and your educations, and we got a lot of stuff to cover. It is a TWAB this week.
It is,
and we've got some great stuff there that we want to hear your feedback on later on for sure, and on the raid changes. And I think we should just jump right into the news.
You guys want to talk about Crimson Days first?
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
So the Crimson Days event kind of got revealed. We knew it was coming. Now we know exactly when. We know exactly what's going to be it. And the first thing they revealed was the Burnout. The Burning Shrine has been remade for Destiny 2. a lot of people's favorite Destiny 1 map, some people's favorite Destiny 1 map, is being remade. I think the biggest difference right off the bat is that the sun is no longer shining on half the maps and obscuring that sniper who's hanging out on the beach.
Yeah, they
made one of the best maps even done.
Exactly. They put it into the future where the Vex have won essentially.
Yeah, where it's all dark.
So there's
a good place.
More reason why you can't hide in the sun. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
It is perfect.
Like what a great way to take that map and be like, everybody's complaints was the outside and camping out there. Let's just get rid of the sun.
Put it in the future.
Yeah,
we'll get rid of the sun and we'll get rid of snipers.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
It's going to be a 2v2 Clash playlist, so it's going to be similar to the original Crimson Days in that way. That kind of works with the Burnout map because it's a smaller map. It'll work for 2v2, hopefully. There are going to be some buffs to playing close to your partner. Yes. You'll get your abilities back faster if you stay close, and you'll somehow appear on enemy HUDs if you stray too far away.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So it's really, you're really gonna want to
encouraging the team shop meta.
Yeah.
So do you guys like the spin on last year? Remember, well, not last year, but last time they did this, they provided you a buff when your teammate died. You got an overshield or like a extra.
You were continually recharging your health.
And then when you revive them, you had like. You're a lot stronger, right? Together.
Yeah, it went away.
Yeah, it went away.
It went away.
When your teammate was dead, you had a buff that you were continually you would actually move quicker, and I think you reloaded quicker. You had better handling, and you would continually recharge health. I think this is definitely better, but it is really ironic with how much we joke around with the butt hugging meta, and they're literally like, "Get ready to hug some more butts."
They made a Scories game mode.
Yeah.
Put your left hand on the cheek of your partner and your right hand on the gun, auto rifle, and squeeze. Yep. And there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Squeeze both hands.
Squeeze both
simultaneous
pulses.
at the
same time.
Yes.
I'm actually a little bit excited for this because the first Crimson Days is the only time that I ever really took a break from Destiny. So I never experienced Crimson doubles. I've played like doubles before, but having the the chocolate ghost drops that everybody was excited for. I got it year 3. Yeah.
It was the poop ghost and then the sparkly ghost. I never got the sparkly one until way later when it didn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't get the sparkly one.
Didn't they end up having to give those to you because there was something broken in it?
And they still gave me a chocolate one.
Everybody got one gifted.
Yeah, they gave you a chance.
Yeah. I still got the chocolate one. Yeah.
Nice. Streamer loot not confirmed.
Exactly. I was like, okay. And it was on both consoles too. I didn't get it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
so that's the game mode that we're going to be playing. But I think one of the biggest deals about this event is the rewards and the way they're awarding them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's going to be exotic skins for your guns. There's going to be an exotic sparrow, an exotic emote, some ghosts, some sparrows, a bunch of that kind of stuff, cosmetic stuff. And it's going to be earnable only. So as opposed to the Dawning event, which basically you had very few chances to actually earn anything from the Dawning, this stuff is all going to be earnable by playing the game. Whenever you rank up, you're going to get a what's not called a bright illuminated engram and a crimson engram. And if you've gotten one thing out of the loot pool, that becomes eliminated from your future loot pool, so you don't get duplicates.
So you
calling it a knockout list,
a knockout list. So you'll constantly be getting new and different stuff. So the more you play, the more chances you have to get each item, which is cool. I really like this that this is separated from the Eververse. I think you'll still utilize the Eververse like front end, but you're not going to actually be paying for this.
Well, they're making it so that anything you want from the event can be purchased with Dust, and it will be available.
Yeah.
But you can earn it, and also the things you do earn in game can break down to Dust as well, which is obviously better. Should have been that way with previous events, but
and there's also no cap on how many you can get either.
That's a nice part.
So you can just keep on playing as much as you want to play.
And the fact that you can earn it side by side, and you can go play anything you want to get. It's all XP tied.
Yep.
Right. It's not, you don't have to necessarily play the Crimson Days to get this loot. You can play Destiny and just by getting experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, there's reasons to go raid too.
There's
a bunch of different rewards that are specific to activities. One is Welcome to Crimson Days milestone. After finishing 5 Crimson Days matches and visiting Lord Shaxx, you'll get a Terrestrella Ghost Shell, and a Crimson Days Engram. When you complete matches in Crimson Days playlist, you'll have a chance to earn the Undeterred Exotic Sparrow. I think this is the first time we've had an Exotic Sparrow that's earnable in-game.
That's right.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yep.
If you complete the Leviathan Raid Lair or the Raid, the Leviathan Raid or the Raid Lair, you'll get a Diesel Punk Exotic Ornament for the Wardcliff Coil. And if you complete a Nightfall Strike during Crimson Days, you'll get the Flaunting Dance emote.
Which is the single ladies dance that Beyonce did.
But for copyright purposes, we're just going to call it the flaunting dance.
Yeah.
Looks good on a hunter.
I'm going to have to add that song to my playlist, I think.
There's one thing, Briar, that I want to point out that is, I think, an important point. Okay, so Crimson, one of the things that we that the community was sort of upset about is that these events were leaving behind players that maybe haven't bought the DLCs. And there's one of the things is that you have to get these engrams, you'll need to reach the level cap for your Guardian. And that begs the question, are you, if you haven't bought the DLC, do you have to reach 25? Well, the answer is no, you don't. So if you reach 20, you can still receive these.
Yeah.
If you haven't bought your the DLC, the Curse of Osiris DLC, as long as you're level 20, you can still earn them.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if you have, then you need to reach level 25. So I think that's an important point. But there's a question that I wanted to ask you guys about this that I was curious about. During Iron Banner, we saw them kind of do some work to balance loot drops from engrams with tokens and purchasing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
This feels uniquely different, right? Because there's no token system. I'm concerned that the loot drop portion of this, the engram piece of this, because so much of this economy is the bright dust, the loot drop ratio is going to be, they have a very slim margin as to what I think will be too much or too little, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm going
I don't think we've gone anywhere near the too much point.
Right, but I think that's what they're concerned about, right? And so they maybe, they could blow the whole economy open if they just flood us with...
You mean for people to grind dust, essentially?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And so...
So you're concerned about there not being enough drops? Because of
I'm
that?
concerned that they don't want to blow open the bright engram economy, right?
Right.
Tons of drops, you're deleting it, and you're buying all the Eververse stuff,
It's
right?
going to be out for a week, and if the dedicated players who are still playing happen to take advantage of a 1 week period where they get some extra dust, I don't think that's going to hurt the longevity of their dust store.
No, I don't. You gotta hear. Let me hear me out. I do not think that's not what I want. What I'm saying is that in their decision-making process as to how much loot to drop, they would have to consider that.
So you're worried about them erring on the low side.
Correct.
Right.
And I think that the success of this event depends on them not making that mistake.
Yeah, I agree, Pope. I want them to be like, I don't want to have to play 30 minutes and then get one engram and then have it just give me like a couple of crappy mods and one shade or something like that. It really does have to give me, I need to see like an engram every 2 or 3 matches that I play.
If you look at the graphic they have showing off the new, the heart emote, where they have, it's kind of like the 3 top rows are sparrows, emotes, ghosts, that kind of stuff, and then the bottom 3 are shaders and what are those called, the ship accessories that when you spawn in it kind of gives you a little flare. It needs to pick off of, every engram needs to pick one item off of that top 3 list, the top 3 rows. Right? Like if you get engrams that are just, 2 shaders and, flare for when you spawn in, that's going to be very disappointing.
Well, I mean, they have that knockout.
The knockout. So you got 36 engrams?
Yeah. I got to assume, though, that do you think that the shaders are on that knockout list?
I think they would be, but they'd be dropped alongside. I mean, because sometimes you get a shader drop, and then you'll also go and you'll get shader along with a ghost or something like that.
Right.
So I think you
my
might end up having
assumption
to
would
go
be-
side by side.
My assumption would be that like every time you open one of those engrams, you got a chance at those top 3 rows with the ghosts, the emotes and the sparrows, and then some other waste items like like the flare or like the shaders. But it's got to have. I feel like every engram's got to have one of those good items. Like
Or
I
at least
feel
every
like-
other 50%, maybe. I don't know. It
50-50
So you're
chance.
saying they all break down to dust, right? And
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
purchase these things with dust. So
Yes.
even if you break down a bunch of trash, eventually you got enough to buy some with dust, right?
Yeah.
Either way,
Well,
so it
if
works both ends.
Yeah.
a exotic
buy 'em.
sparrow is 2,500 dust,
That's the pricing. It's no.
Yeah.
Some of the exotics and the exotic emotes are 3,000.
yeah.
Oh.
So that's a lot of grinding for if you
Yeah.
get one shader or 2 shaders.
yeah.
Well,
know,
right now,
per
if you
engram.
delete a sparrow or a ship or a ghost, you're getting 100, right? 90 to
Legendary
80
ghost.
to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting 80 to 100 bright dust. If we assume they keep that same system, you're right, Briar. That's a lot of
Yeah, that's a lot of.
Look, I'm excited
Yeah.
for this. This is a big change from the Dawning, in my opinion.
yeah.
Like
It's a huge
You know,
change.
it's a huge change.
I like
So
it.
I'm really
Community
excited
feedback
about this.
change too.
I want to see, I want to see it in action to really get a feel for it and how fair it's going to be. But on the face of it, I'm very encouraged by,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the way this is presented.
It went from an Eververse focused thing, these events, to now you can only get this through gameplay.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
buy stuff with dust, but you can't buy the stuff with your money.
You can't buy
unless
the
you want to
loot
buy a
boxes.
bunch of there's no loot boxes to buy. So it's a 180. It's a completely different thing of what they're focused on for this event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you guys surprised not to see any Crimson Days
Armor.
ornaments or armor?
I was surprised not to see any armor.
Armor or ornaments? I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ornaments.
You know,
would have
take
been nice.
another.
Ornaments
Take
would've been
another.
nice.
Yeah, take another like Crucible.
Like an
armor
ornament
piece.
set for the Crucible set of armor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I want to see all new events like carry forward now, because it doesn't take any extra slots in your inventory, and we're all like dying for more inventory space. So
Good point, Briar.
like the way Iron Banner does it is
Yeah.
like you have one set of armor, and then every
Yeah.
time they do a new season, they can just give you an ornament, and there's plenty of slots for ornaments. So
That's right.
by the
Yeah.
end of the season 4, you could have 3 different types of ornaments on your Iron Banner armor, or on your Crucible armor, or on your Vanguard armor, or so eventually you just have a few sets of armor with 6 different looks to it. I'd like to see them just kind of keep down that path.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It seems like
Yeah.
a solution, partial solution to the vault space issue.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have liked to see armor though. Like I would have liked to see, like armor or ornaments for armor, or something besides a shader cosmetically for your Guardian itself.
I think
Sure.
the
I really-
emotes end up being what people grind for the most with that kind of thing. It's the most.
I am gonna rock that heart emote.
Yeah,
like
I mean
I'm
that's
gonna
the
be
thing
all
that you
over
can see the most.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
can
blowing those
imagine-
things willy nilly all over the place.
you kill somebody in Crucible and you do that. How is
Oh
there-
my god, it's gonna be beautiful.
Oh.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Now, speaking of beautiful, that sparrow.
Looks good on the hunter.
If that sparrow has a trail that's
Mhm.
unique,
Oh,
Like-
a heart trail?
Ooh, like a heart
pink in
trail.
color or
There you
hearts
go.
that come
Heart
out
trail
like
would
a
be
That would be
amazing.
amazing.
like
Yeah.
Jetson hearts. Bloop, 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 bloop.
I'd
It
love
kind of
that.
reminds me of the Wrath of
wouldn't
the
expect
Machine
that,
Sparrow. The Wrath of the Machine Sparrow that came out with Age of Triumph kind of has that little glimmery kind of look to it, like
Yeah.
the Sievify.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's cool. I think it looks nice.
It looks like on the front of it which I'm really curious about their design thoughts of, like, what would be a Sparrow of Love. On the front wing, it
Like a
looks like a razor blade.
Yeah, that's like
It looks like you're just, oh
You
my
got to
gosh.
shave
that's
before the
funny.
date. On your Sparrow, you have a razor blade. It's perfect. That's what's up.
That's true.
Yeah.
Either that or chop your lover's head off, Black Widow style.
Either way works. Yeah.
I would think the ghosts would look a little more hardy, though. You know what I mean? A little more heart shaped.
Mm-hmm. I was
Maybe
thinking that
like
too.
one of those. What are those
Yeah.
little Valentine's candies?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, this is exciting. Like if it works out like the way they're kind of describing it here, and if it feels fair and
Mhm.
not like super transaction based, like
Yeah.
while we're doing it, Like this is a nice step forward, and you stack that with the Iron Banner event, which if you kind of extract the experience away from the sandbox and the actual, the act of playing the Crucible, but you actually just take a look at the Iron Banner event itself and how it was run. I thought it was really successful. It was a really a cool way to run an event. I think it was one of the best events we've ever had in Destiny, period. As far as like the way the rewards were doled out. Yeah, I would have liked to see more guns, but I really like the ornament system. I like that there were challenges to get each ornament. I like that it carries over from.
I love that it carries over.
How did you guys feel about it being you had to basically purchase all the stuff through tokens as opposed to it being dropped in game?
So I'm definitely mixed on that. Like I do like the drop aspect, the RNG aspect. It's exciting to be like, oh, I got the gloves, now I got the shoes and the pants and all that stuff. But they're trying to balance this line between protecting people from bad RNG. And I feel like it's a little too much at the moment. Like with the Midnight Coup, everybody can get a Midnight Coup now from just basically doing anything.
Any encounter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you get the Midnight Coup from turning tokens into Benedict?
Nope.
I don't think I don't think they added that.
Someone told me that they got the sniper from turning tokens in, and that used to be a Callus only reward.
Right. Maybe
so
they
I don't
did
know
add
if
it
the
to the
Midnight
pool.
Coup is in the loophole too.
Maybe.
Boy, oh boy.
So you can just get it anywhere. He's gonna sell it one week, and it's gonna be a masterwork with reload.
I just looked at my Midnight Coup today. I have 711 kills with it in the Crucible.
Nice.
I love that gun.
Nice.
Well, this all starts Tuesday, February 13th, and it's only a week.
Coming up on
it's
Tuesday.
only a week.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
1 week.
It's only a week though.
And
Yeah,
it's free.
because a guy like I really only get time to play on the weekend, so that means 2 weeks would have been great. But
There was a really good thread on Reddit that was kind of saying, hey, these should be longer than a week, and I kind of agree with that statement. Like, I understand you putting the whole thing there for a shorter amount of time. It creates, it's like, oh, I got to get in play. It's only there for a short amount of time. But a lot of us have shit to do. You can't.
Yeah, people go away on trips. People have emergencies come up. People have lives.
Or people just work 9 to 5, like Monday through Friday, and don't really play in the evening.
And then like Overwatch,
Monster Hunter, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's Monster Hunter you got to play.
And you have to play 15 hours.
That's what we meant by work.
We all make choices.
We said we work 40 hours a week. That's Monster.
I totally don't have 80 hours on my Monster Hunter character. Totally don't. No way.
Hey, Pope, I saw a tweet by you, actually. Did you get all of the Iron Banner armor and ornaments?
Yeah.
That's pretty casual.
Super casual, man. Wow.
It is casual.
It's more than me.
All I want to tell you is that I'm not saying that the universe provides, but I had a debilitating flu during Iron Banner.
You could barely pick up a controller, but you muscled through.
But
All I'm saying is that I had a debilitating flu that kept me home from work for multiple days.
I hope you don't get a relapse for Crimson
He wasn't
Days.
getting those ornaments over here on DCP, guys.
It went away for a week, but guys, it's back. I don't know. I don't think I can go to work this week.
He had the explosive diarrhea pointed towards the toilet, and the controller pointed forward while he was grinding Iron Banner.
I played a ton of Iron Banner, and I think I got like 85% of the chests done, which is like melees and grenade kills. I think I got like 85%. Or
that
87%.
is so much fun on a Titan with your melting point shoulder charge, and you just follow it up with a melee. You're good. Or anything.
Titan with Syncoceps and the Fighting Lion was the easiest way to go.
Or sometimes they try to jump away from you, but you shoulder charge them, so they're flying way back in the air. But they have the melting point on them, so it's just a one shot at the toe and they're gone.
Dude, done. Like seriously, that's the most entertaining thing in the world. It's like them flying off into space.
I think I killed one guy off of ricocheting off of a wall. Like I hit him so hard he hit a wall and died.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Nice. On PC, of course.
Oh yeah.
The frames killed just by hitting stuff.
Frame physics.
Yeah.
There's a cost for those limited frames. There's a cost.
You can't go through lifts on the public event.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about Crimson Days, guys. I really am. I'm gonna grind it. I'm looking forward to getting those specific rewards and
do you have a date?
how the drops
Do you have
are.
a date set up?
My wife, obviously. My goodness.
True. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Pope. I'm taking.
My wife doesn't play video games. My date's my dad.
It's just like prom all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Flashbacks.
You and TK gonna
But maybe, most likely, me and Patrick. Patrick playing Crimson Days.
All right. Wait, are we doing this on
What's Dano
PC
gonna
or
do?
PC
Whatever.
or PS4?
doesn't matter. Just say yes.
Okay, yeah, sure, we can play.
Just say yes. A beautiful woman asks you to go doubles with her, that you say yes. That's just the way it is.
I need to read the contract on that one. Sorry.
There's no contract. It's a beautiful woman.
Fucking read the contract on that shit, dude.
Are you playing Magic right now?
No.
You're playing Magic right now.
I may be training for a tournament in April, but not right now.
I see your hands right now, but I feel like you have a whole deck laid out in front of you that the camera can't see.
I'd move my webcam, but that would just be no. My deck is actually down here in my bag. Okay.
So you got your deck with your bag.
Yes.
Got it.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe him.
I don't believe him either.
He's playing Magic the
Are
Gathering
you saying
online.
you have a bag of decks?
Yes. I have a bag of decks.
There we go. That's
Hit
where
him
I
with
was
a bag
trying to
of
go.
decks, dude.
Just like keep
That's
bringing
easy.
it out
Hey,
here.
Patrick, just stop touching your deck, all right? Just put it away.
Yeah.
I just want to show everyone my
Nobody
deck.
wants to
man.
see that deck.
No one
Put it
wants
away.
you touching
Jesus.
your deck.
Some people do. You don't speak for everyone,
I'm
Tefty.
saying you'd go blind touching those decks, dude. Come on, man.
You touch those decks too much, you're gonna go blind. All right. Well, there's a lot. I was surprised that their communication, Briar. This came out on a Tuesday.
Yeah, their communication has been top notch for the last 3-4 weeks, right? 3 weeks,
Yeah.
I think.
3 weeks.
You know, I feel like this is the Bungie that you can be a fan of again, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this isn't the Bungie that we're all mad at in December. This is the Bungie that we're like, yeah, go fucking get it, guys. We got this.
Yeah.
we got
Don't
this.
let up the gas. Keep your
Yeah,
a little
don't let off the
surprised.
gas.
foot on
I'm
the
a little
pedal.
disappointed with something though. I'm a little
Uh-huh.
upset about something, and I'm gonna vent right now. Cosmo, the community manager has an opportunity to do Bungie Bounty Crimson Days. Think about how many people would jump in to slay that bromance between DMG and Cosmo.
That would be nice.
Interesting.
That's true.
I mean, think about it. I started a campaign on Twitter to get them to do a Bungie Bounty, the two of them versus the community. You know, break up that bromance. Let's make it happen. Cosmo, come on, man. You know how many people would jump in just a chance to get at that couple.
That's a
My word. Great.
Those
get at the
people.
name grabs.
This is the kind of
Get at
talk
them and
that
grabs.
you have to shut down forums for.
Yeah, well, can you guys explain that to me? I have no idea what's going on with the forums. I just saw something
There's
about it
a-
getting shut down.
You talk
Well,
about
they
shut
don't
down.
get shut down.
There's sections of the Bungie forums now, or moving forward, starting tomorrow, I believe, that if you haven't bought the game, you can't access.
if you haven't accessed the farm, you can't post in
Okay.
those forms.
Which
I think that's good.
Deej
yeah.
came out and actually said something about that. And he's like, this isn't anything new.
Yeah,
Back
they've
in
they did it
D1, you
Destiny
couldn't-
1.
You had to be at the tower before you could go post in the forums, you know.
I think that's
You have to
great.
complete the first mission.
I do too.
Basically.
I think it's fine.
Yep.
Honestly,
Yeah,
like
one mission,
they-
you're good.
Yeah,
They should-
you know what? I say this because we've had some people come into our chat and just down Destiny and down Bungie. They
No.
never played the game.
Questions?
No, I
I've
don't
never
believe it.
played it.
Because of what
Dude,
they read
toxic.
on YouTube and what they did in Reddit, they were bashing the game, and we were like, "How long have you played Destiny?" "Oh, I haven't." "Well, what the hell are you talking about?"
I stopped playing Destiny year 2 of Destiny 1. It's like, all right.
How do you have an opinion? How can you render an opinion if you haven't played the game?
They
So
should just
I
make
think it's
sure
great.
that they should go one step further. You can't access the forums unless you have Midnight Kill.
I like this.
This is
Hefty.
probably your best idea to
Hefty
date.
all in the
This is amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Can I nominate you for public service? I need to see your name making things happen out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, people are getting pretty crazy about that one, but I think that's kind of funny.
It
Like
reminds me.
I saw a
of-
comment into the Twitter questions today, which I did not pick, that said they put the Bungie forums behind a paywall.
Mm.
Yes.
I don't
We
know.
knew that
we
would
talked
come
to
up too. We were
Tess.
talking about that.
I
Somebody's
mean-
going to say, What you gotta buy the game just to post?
You have to talk to Tess in order to access the forum.
She sells a ghost that you have to purchase in order to access the forums.
By the way, that's not true.
That's not true. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, but it
my
reminds
God.
me of that article that came out when, what was it, like 2 years ago, where they said they rebooted D2 in development. And then like 2 months ago, it like blew up and everybody's like, oh, see, there was a reboot that happened. It's like the same.
Yeah.
It's not new information,
Yeah.
but that's like the focus right
Well,
now.
it's new to a lot of people who ended
Yeah.
with Destiny 2.
But it's, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still like it's not the whole forum. There's parts like if you want to go to the help part of the forum, like if you're having trouble getting Destiny to run or something, you can still access that, no problem. It's just
So
everything else.
they just want you to have played the game to be giving your opinion on the game
Yes.
and feedback on the game.
And you,
Unreasonable.
Unreasonable, right?
You could play
man.
the demo and get access to it. I mean, you don't even have to have like purchased the game.
You
to
just
be
have
honest.
to have
Unbelievable.
actually played.
You've played.
the
It's not even
game
purchasing.
a tiny
Played the
bit.
You're
game.
expecting me to put time into something to be able to render an opinion? This
Yes.
is
You want me to
unbelievable.
give
Hours
feedback
worth of
based
time.
on my experience?
I am upset with this. I'm with you, Tefty. We should protest.
I'm making signs, going to some downtown office.
I'm gonna protest
wait to
by
read that sign.
not using the forums.
Midnight Coos.
What?
Midnight
What did
Can you
Deej end
please
that
just
thing
turn
with?
up to a like actual protest with a midnight
With a
coup
midnight
protest
coup.
sign?
It was hilarious what Deej posted toward the end of his comment when he was posting it.
It said something like, if this doesn't appeal to you, there are other places on the internet.
Yeah, there are other places on the
Yeah.
internet for you to go and vent.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Something paraphrasing. But
Beautiful.
I felt that was well said.
I honestly feel like I am concerned for all the trolls and toxic people on the forums now have nowhere else to go on the internet. I'm concerned for them.
They're going
What
to
are
have to
they
actually
going
play
to
the
do?
game.
oh Reddit.
Reddit. Oh, sorry. My bad. Never mind. I have no problems anymore.
Yep.
I'm good.
They're
I'm
good. They're good. They've got their own home.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good for them.
You guys want to talk about the TWAB? We got some big
juicy-
changes coming. We
juicy
finally heard
details.
why the raid layer got delayed, or the prestige mode for the raid layer.
Yep.
Big changes coming to the Nightfall. They're going to get rid of the timer, and they're going to start having basically different kinds of challenges for the Nightfall.
And
And
the loot specific to the bosses and the Nightfall.
Oh, right. Yep.
That's the most exciting part.
That was very exciting. I saw that and I was like, yes. But what I don't know, say they kind of like, they brushed up against that saying, you know, a great thing is when you take down a boss and you reap these really rare rewards that from grinding it and so on and so forth, these difficult activities. That's what it sounded like. And I'm really, really excited to see what they come up with on these Nightfall based rewards.
Right.
Yeah, Chris Barrett was waxing poetic a little bit there.
That's
he got
fine.
a little.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I like that, but I just some facts too. It's good.
That's one of those things that on the roadmap could be delayed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's supposedly or hopefully going to come out at the end of February, but it could come out.
Each
at the end of
terrible villain that players face should have a very rare and powerful unique
Yes.
item themed to them
This
that
sounds.
tumbles to the ground as they collapse into a pile of bones.
Hey,
Hey, did
Pope,
you carve
I
'em?
know you like voice acting, but don't pay
Carve
any
them and you
attention.
get the gem. And you
Yeah.
make a big axe that's actually a great sword, but says, why are you using an axe when you're using a great sword? Doesn't matter.
Ah,
Massive damage.
massive.
It's interesting that they're not going to be strike specific. They're going to be Nightfall specific.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Make
is
them
strike
rare.
specific.
I'm
Yeah,
okay
it's
with
going to
that.
make them rare.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I wonder if you'll have one chance at them per character per week, or if you'll be able to go finish the Nightfall multiple times and get a chance at it every time you finish the Nightfall. I wonder how that'll work.
Well,
I would
that's a
hope
good
you could
question.
grind it.
The way that they're handling the auras,
So good.
makes me think that it's just one per character, right?
My guess is that it would be one per character.
The attempt?
And you'd have to
I have
wait.
to guess.
No, not the attempt, but the rewards. You
Oh.
complete
The
it, you get
reward,
the
yeah.
rewards,
Gotcha,
and then
yeah,
you
yeah.
have if you didn't get what you wanted, right?
And I like that. Makes me keep doing the Nightfall more than
But you
just
are-
in 1 week.
And you are getting some really, I mean, I don't know if we're kind of going out of order here, but I was really excited because you finish the Prestige Nightfall, you get an aura, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you go and you do other strikes or Nightfalls or, other strikes in the strike playlist, and you have that aura it happens automatically from completing the Prestige, you give your, it's an automatic bonus of 25% to your,
I thought you had to have the emblem equipped for that to happen.
You have to have the emblem.
Was it the emblem, or I thought it was the aura?
It looks like they're moving auras completely out and associating with emblems, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you've met the requirements from your performance, then it unlocks that ability to hook up other teammates in that strike with extra tokens, which I think that's really cool.
It is really cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time to do. Right. Our chat corrected me.
It creates competition, for yourself and with other fire teams.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to go in and grind the best score they possibly can. It's kind of like, was it on the TWAB? They used to have the Prison of Elders scoring, where they would say the team that was the top 3 teams that are the highest scoring.
Yep.
It was kind of cool.
It's always the same guys.
Yeah, always the same guys.
It was always the same team.
Hey, they got a title.
And that team's probably warming up right now because Nightfall scoring is coming back.
That's right.
So
yes. Yep. And it's going to be interesting how they do it. Like, seriously, you can have... Oh, there's so much to talk about here. Go, Brian.
All right. So I'm just going to... There's 4 things they talk about with Nightfall scoring. They're going to reward you for engaging and defeating enemies instead of running past them, which is a good change for the Nightfall strike.
Huge.
Yes.
Avoid overemphasizing specific mechanics like precision kills that highlight certain areas of the sandbox and or punish other areas so that players are the ones who determine the most effective meta. They reward you for taking on greater challenges up to the limits of your own capabilities, and they reward you for doing the above quickly and over the course of a short run versus long slogs over several hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like with the scoring is you're going to be doing a Nightfall strike with the scoring, but at 15 minutes into your Nightfall strike, points are cut in half. They're cut by 50%. So you start earning points at 50%. At 18 minutes, you stop earning points altogether, and it's a race to just get finished with your score. And there's also going to be attrition to your score, where your score is actually counting down the longer you go.
Yep. I love it.
So it's back to Prison of Elders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They did that
as far
back
as
then
the
too.
time,
Yeah.
the decay.
Yep. Time decay with the score. I think it's awesome.
Now, the problem with Prison of Elders, though, was that you could outscore that decay. You could stay in there.
You could, but it would still drop. You had to, you could outscore it, but it was still the same kind of mechanic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of harkening back to that.
You lost points back then for deaths, right? It took points away from you.
So, yeah.
Well,
they didn't want to do that.
I mean, one of the things that I like the most about and has the most potential is this challenge option of it.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge cards?
And challenge cards.
That's my favorite thing about it.
This is like skulls from Halo.
Yeah,
that's what we talked about on raids.
Dude, this is so cool. Like, if they keep doing this kind of stuff, oh man, think about it. So these on top of the above mechanics are the challenge cards, right? And they offer ways to boost the challenge in exchange for score multipliers. Mm-hmm. Some of the challenges are, pretty cool. Like, you can, if your entire fire team falls in the restriction zone where you can't respawn, everyone will return to orbit.
The Nightfall modifier on the Nightfall.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. I know that's an old example, but the options they have here for these challenge modes, you can determine how many skulls you turn on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then those affect your score, but you make it too difficult and it slows your fire team down and you lose points on the timing, right? Your fire team's powerful enough to do the multipliers, to do to plan ahead and balance your guns with solar damage and arc damage and all these different things. And these modifiers can actually significantly boost your score, but you oversell yourself and you're going to find yourself slogging it through and not scoring as many points because of time. I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too. I agree.
High risk, high reward.
It's just that the whole customization that everybody wants, man. I mean, you're customizing how you're going to roll this thing now. I think it's great.
I love the power handicap idea too, of like activating one of the challenges, like one of the skulls, and reducing your power level. So one of the things that I've always felt was most difficult. I love to grind strikes, and I'd love to see this kind of challenge cards be applied to other things too, like strikes. But in this case, it's just Nightfall. You can purposefully reduce yourself to a lower light and make it more challenging, so the enemies are above your light level. That's awesome.
So these challenge cards are actually going to drop from Nightfalls, right? They're a drop from Nightfalls. Does that mean that I got to wait till the next week to run the challenge, or can I just keep running Nightfalls?
See, I think it's going to be like regular drops, like every time there's going to be the guaranteed reward. This is what
the power reward.
Yeah, like the actual power reward, like the power engram,
which would be once per character per week.
Right, and then it seems like there's going to be these things that drop from Nightfalls from replaying them, because it doesn't sound like they want you to do one Nightfall and then that's it. This sounds like something they want you to grind.
Can grind it.
Yeah. This looks like Briar. This is a blue consumable, and it looks like you're probably going to have like 200 of them, in a month, right?
And then if I use it and don't complete the challenge, do I lose it?
Don't know. Yeah, the other big question mark. Yeah, you should lose it, right?
I think you should.
You should, right?
Yeah.
I think you should.
I don't think you will, but I would like that.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see,
I feel like it would say it on there if it would go away.
Yeah. What I'd like to see is some interesting rewards pop out of these things too, if you do complete it with certain requirements. So you got your card.
Cool. Maybe a mod.
Yeah, you get your team. Yeah, exactly. Right? Wouldn't that be awesome? A mod 2.0 type of thing. You get your team together, you complete the challenge card, and you hit a certain number, a level to activate the reward. And it's something that you can only get from that. That's really interesting and useful.
And it looks like it's only applicable to the prestige mode, though.
That's okay.
So when present in your inventory, this enables modifiers in Nightfall strikes on prestige difficulty.
Right.
More challenging modifiers will apply larger score multipliers.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down.
That's cool. I'm totally down.
I would love to see some of the top mods, like mods 2.0, some of the best ones come out of things like this. So you rewarded for your, it's like the end game grind that like Monster Hunter has right now. So you augment your gear and all that. That only happens because you've invested so much time in it. This should be stuff that is essentially augmenting your gear as well. The mods 2.0 should be things that drop from difficult things like this that give you measurable results for your build.
Yep.
I love that scoring is team-based, and it's not like it doesn't pit your enemies, your teammates against each other to like stealing kills. I love that idea.
They say that, but at the end, I'm going to be looking at who made more orbs. I'm going to be like, okay.
Yes.
Right.
So if you get points for making orbs as well as kills, or you just have somebody do Orpheus rigs, and then you just have a Titan run in circles, gather all the enemies, and you can just throw tether after tether after tether.
Sounds awesome.
I mean, you're wasting time by doing that, but you're gaining points. So it
just sounds like it's going to add to the replayability too, man. I mean, some of these teams are going to always go after that better time. Yeah. It's good. I think it's good.
Well, this is their first stab at it, and they say right in there that we're interested in restoring special point awards based on medals, but we want your input to understand the basic meta first. So this is just their first stab at it, and just like everything that they're doing right now with these changes, they feel relevant. They feel like they're player focused. They feel like they're listening to the community and responding in actionable ways. I really like this Nightfall piece.
And they're adding end game stuff for end game players. It always seemed like Bungie, especially with Destiny 2, seemed kind of scared to give end game stuff for difficult activities because not everyone would be able to get it. It kind of seems like they're moving further away from that, where they're like, you know what, this is a difficult activity. You deserve to get something special because you completed it. So I hope they keep going in that direction, because that's what the community is. The community that stuck around in Destiny, they want to keep grinding for stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want a challenge too. And
they want they want a challenge.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here when they're talking about the auras, I see what you guys are saying about them linked to the emblem, and I really like that it is something visible to other people. In the, when you're doing strikes, so you go into a party and you see some guy with that emblem on, and you're immediately knowing that they're hooking you up with 25% bonus.
It's cool.
Yep.
Great.
I have to change my emblem though. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to think about somebody else for once. I mean,
Are all
also,
auras?
you know what I didn't notice before actually is that there are going to be some rare variants of these Nightfall emblems that will be available as drops at higher score thresholds. So the higher your score, the better the reward is. Actually,
And the
I didn't
better
realize
the
that.
Yeah.
aura, theoretically.
Yeah.
So the aura slot's completely going away, we're assuming then, right?
That's what it looks
And
like.
then you just have it tied
Looks
to
like
that.
it.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah,
like
it'd
in
be
that
kind of
image.
weird if you had two different auras. You had an emblem aura and then like a trials aura in there.
Yo,
It
mixed
just wouldn't
match.
work. Yeah.
Remember that one from Destiny 1 where it was like the virus that you caught,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
right?
love
And all
that.
the little and you could get all the sprinkles.
Yeah.
The full
Yeah.
infection.
The
That
full
was
infection.
The
It was a
full
pre-Rise of Iron DLC, kind of like
That
arc
was cool.
happened.
That was cool stuff, though.
That was cool.
That was.
Just that
That
whole
was
thing,
cool.
and everybody was
Awesome.
going back to that one page, and they were checking on this, and you could see it spread.
Make us
It was
look-
like, yeah,
Make us look unique. Make us reward us for the game that we're playing, and don't be afraid to make things hard to get.
Yeah.
Well, me, you bet. Remember the blue flame, man? I mean, that was the best for me. You could go in there and get inundated with 10 messages. Hey, can you help me with the Nightfall? You got that blue flame. It's like, sorry, kid. Sorry, we got stuff to do.
Busy. Real busy.
Yeah, busy,
Real
man.
super busy.
I got a full-time job, you know. Play Monster Hunter all day.
You don't understand how much spin metal I need.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
That's
Yeah, I think-
cool. I really like it, man. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
I agree. I think
I'll certainly do Nightfalls again. I haven't done a Nightfall in a while.
Same.
Same. I basically did a couple of them. I tried to get the Rat King. I got the Rat King on the console. I haven't
Acris.
got the Acris. I haven't got the Rat King on PC because I don't care about it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Didn't they say they're doing something to the Rat King on Twitter?
You're gonna no, it's not
did
the
they?
Rat King. It's the Drang
Drang
and
and Sturm.
The Sturm.
Oh,
Sturm and
that's
Drang.
right. That was in
I-
response to you, Pope.
Yeah, I posted I finally went and got it. Like there was no reason for me to get it, really, to be honest with you. It just wasn't. And hand cannons didn't feel good to me, and so I went back and I just did it. And I started playing with it, and I really enjoyed that concept of like not having to reload and just being able to switch your guns between. And it really is a really close quarters mixed with Devour. It was a really close quarters fun way of shooting stuff, right? Shooting stuff's fun, right?
Mhm.
And
Turns out.
and then and
You
it
don't
turns
say.
out. And then John Wisniewski replied that it's getting better.
Cool.
And so
Those
Which
needed
I'm
to, though, man. I
really
mean, the Rat
excited.
King had so much potential.
Yeah. The Rat
that
King is
it
fun.
was fun to get, and it looked cool, and yeah, it was just fun.
For a moment,
Your
we
whole
thought it was
team,
gonna
and
be
it all
great,
light
right?
up, and yeah.
Mhm.
Just got to buff
That's
all the
some-
exotics. Make them all
Exactly.
awesome.
The Sturm
Buff
is the hand
everything.
cannon, right? That's 110
Yeah.
fire rate.
Yeah.
rate
It wants a
RPM.
sidearm, right? Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Drang
it's a
is
sidearm.
Drang is the
I always called them the drab and board, man.
wait. So the Drang is the
sidearm.
hand cannon.
Sturm
Sidearm.
is the hand cannon.
That's
Drang
what
is
I
the
said.
sidearm.
Yeah.
So I've been messing around with that Iron Banner hand cannon, the new one, in the Crucible.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either, and it suddenly has me thinking maybe I should try out that Sturm again. It's been a while. I've gotten better with a mouse and keyboard. Hitting those 3 taps on PC has been awfully satisfying.
There you go.
Not
Very
having to
satisfying.
reload ever sounds nice.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
good. It is good.
I am looking forward to doing Nightfalls again. I am.
PC
Yep.
players, man.
Especially when those rewards come.
And kudos
Wow.
to the
Exactly.
kudos
Rewards.
to those two the designers that came up with some of these changes.
Yeah, these are creative ideas,
They're
right? Like,
good.
these
Yeah.
are cool
Yeah,
ideas.
They're good.
Yep.
When I heard that they were
it's a
just
good
gonna
place to start.
when I heard they were gonna eliminate the time limit for Nightfalls, I'm like, that's the only thing Nightfalls have going for them anymore.
Yeah,
It's the only
same.
difference. But they have come up with a bunch of great ideas. I'm looking forward to doing Nightfalls now.
and also,
and the great
also what they're doing is they're taking the prestige concept, and we're going to talk about it in the raids as well. They're taking this whole prestige thing and saying, okay, this is not what the community wants as a whole. It's not like that level of prestige is
Delta scaling.
Yeah, it's not working. They're revamping that stuff. They're bringing these challenge cards and obviously doing some cool stuff with the raids. And I'm very excited about it. I hope it translates in gameplay. I really do.
Yeah.
So here's they're setting an expectation of what they think the point value would be to reach these higher tier rewards,
Mhm.
these higher tier stuff. But what I like about what they're saying is that we're going to set the next set of expectations from that. The players that come in and start setting those bars are going to raise or lower that, but most likely raise that expectation level of what it takes to get those higher tier rewards from the Nightfall. And I love that. I love that.
So we also got a little bit of information about the Prestige Eater of Worlds, the raid lair. Why that's been delayed? We would have expected it to come out in January. We got some information about why that got delayed. It's because they're really redoing the whole, the Prestige system for raids and for raid lairs. And the new version of the Prestige is not going to be about just more, yellow health bar enemies. It's going to be more about doing challenges. So they kind of give some examples. Is what you'll do is you'll go in there and you'll have a set loadout, required loadout. For instance, for week 1, the raid activity might be Eater of Worlds. And the modifier on the raid activity, kind of similar to a Nightfall modifier, would be Marksman. Prestige damage or precision damage is increased. Landing a precision shot grants 1 ammo directly to the magazine. That's pretty powerful, right? But you have to use a hand cannon in your kinetic slot, a scout rifle in your energy slot, and a linear fusion in your power slot. So you have to use precision weapons, and you're rewarded for doing precision damage.
I'm really interested to hear from Peanut Butter and Toast on this.
I am very hesitant because for the past since Prestige Raid came out, we related it back to D1, so there was no Prestige, it was hard mode, right? And when the hard mode came out, we never looked back on normal. It was hard mode, you got your double drops, and that's all you focus on. So helping people out, we only did hard. That's what we were expecting to do in Prestige, and then they didn't give us normal loot drops in that. So we kind of had to go back and forth and do Prestige and normal, and it kind of made it to where normal mode kind of felt boring at times, but we were doing it because people wanted the loot drops.
Right.
So last week, I think it was last week when they had the normal drops that were put in Prestige, we were stoked. And we haven't done a normal mode in 2 weeks, and it's been fun, and people have been getting their first Prestige clears. I don't know if everyone's going to have access to this.
Yeah, what if they don't have the guns that are required? If they don't have the Risk Runner?
It's a set loadout. The way it was implied is you get whatever the thing is that you.
One of their options on there was that it is a Risk Runner that's on the energy. So you're saying that if you drop into the raid, they just give you.
Yeah. That's the way that I took it.
I don't think that's not how I took it. I took it as like
that's not how I took it.
You have to go in
they
your
would
inventory
still
and equip what you want.
Guns in your inventory.
Yeah.
So
you have to use
nobody's used a grenade launcher in how long?
Yeah.
Because they delete every grenade launcher because everybody says grenade launchers are terrible. So,
well, here's how they think they can get around that. I hear your concern, but I was surprised when you said Risk Runner because that's the only example of a specific gun named. And I think that would be a mistake for them to do that, to be honest with you, for the reasons that you're saying. But if you go to every there is a auto rifle, a grenade launcher, a shotgun, a submarine machine gun at a vendor somewhere, right?
Sure. Yep.
So
I agree with that.
I mean, if need be, you could grab one.
Why do we think that people can't get a Risk Runner?
It's not that they can't, but it's going to take them time to get that, and they can't just go right into a raid. The way that we do things, I mean, we could get 5 people in there and then get in there and find out that they don't have whatever this weapon is.
If you made a requirement, so you got a very specific example, but requiring a Risk Runner to me doesn't sound like that big a deal. I mean, first of all, like it's been sold probably twice from Xur already. There's Faded Engrams, so if you don't have it, you could probably get it from a Faded Engrams. There's 3 coins, which I'm not sure are working yet. Does anybody know if 3 coins is working?
I don't think they fixed it.
I don't think they fixed it either. But okay, so week 3 is the Risk Runner. Well, I don't have a Risk Runner, so I'm gonna have to grind to get a Risk Runner to do
or
that.
Or Xur sells it that week.
Yeah, they could do that, right? They could do that. But I don't see that as being a very big barrier. Yeah. Okay, I can't do week 3 because I haven't gotten a Risk Runner.
Also, see, in my opinion, it's for the Prestige.
Grind for a Risk Runner, man.
In my opinion, it's for the Prestige, and it's not like I feel like they changed how normal raids operate. Like you guys were saying, like after Heroic came out in Destiny 1, that you wouldn't turn back. You'd never go back to normal raids unless you were trying to get a Black Hammer, because it only dropped in that.
Right.
That was the only reason.
Yeah. Right.
But they changed it this time around, and I got mixed feelings about that too. But I don't like Prestige as it is right now. Well, I haven't done it since they do double drops. That does obviously sound better, but having them change it up so there's actually modifiers and loadouts and stuff, like that sounds like
I love the modifier idea.
That sounds like an interesting change up. That sounds like something that I would come back every week and be like, oh, I wonder what the twist is going to be for the Prestige this week and how it's going to play out.
Right, week 2. So the second example they give is doing the raid lair expansion, or the expansion 2 raid lair, but the modifier is Gladiator. Your melee damage is increased and melee kills grant bonus super.
Yeah.
And your required loadout is all short range guns, sidearm, submachine gun, shotgun. Like that changes up your gameplay.
Everything.
Changes up everything.
So there's a couple
really
things
interesting.
Too. When we first read that, we're like, oh, expansion 2, that's going to be a close range final boss we're going to have to deal with. I mean, they're all examples, so it's kind of good to note that these might not be what we see there.
Right.
But the assumption I guess we have to make is that we'll get weapons that will work for that encounter. If we had a sidearm, submachine gun, and a shotgun, and we had to go against Callus.
That was my thought too.
Callus was the challenge.
Yeah, Callus was challenge, where you have to. It's all one plate damage essentially every round. It would be all supers and abilities is what you'd have to use there.
I've killed Callus with only Rat King. It's possible.
You can do it. You can definitely do it.
And you had,
if with a stacked team.
Well,
exactly.
and that's what we're talking about. Are
Not
we
every
looking
team
at
stacked when we go into raids?
Yeah, but are we looking at Prestige though?
So all right,
Peanut.
so you're talking about balancing a raid based on getting a bunch of people who've never raided in there. I'm talking about making a Prestige raid fucking prestigious and hard. We got different. I mean, we're coming at this from two different places, I think.
Well, I think, in my personal opinion, this Prestige, the way they have it set up right now, is the hardest PvE content that they've delivered. The hardest. Everybody that does what we do as part of our Sherpa squad, the group that we're in, they wouldn't touch Prestige raids because they're difficult. And when you're taking people and you're trying to teach people that have only done 2 regular raids how to do a Prestige raid, these things hit hard. Like going into the Castellum right now, it's the dog challenge, which is the hardest dog challenge to defend. When we go through these things, you have right now it's like the perfect storm. Dog challenge is what gets you in. It's the hardest.
Yeah.
Callus challenge is the most difficult because you have 1 plate to do damage. So you've got to do multiple passes through the Prestige as it is.
Let me ask you a question. Is it okay to have any content in this game that's too hard for some people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would a
I
Prestige raid be among those things that's okay to just be too hard for some people?
I wish Bungie, instead of making me do something with a weapon that I'm not comfortable with or that I'm not comfortable using, I get right now rockets seem to be like that sword, the exotic sword. Rocket works in every application. I don't like that part of it because it's easier to just go and do the raid layer with rockets. You hit him with your supers, you blast him with your rockets, he's dead. We do the 2 phase on that. So we do 2 damage phases every time we knock it, and we can get it done in 1 phase. So it's too easy. But on the same token, if you rely on people that we go through, all I'm hearing is Guardian down. Because you put somebody up against a Bather on Prestige with a linear fusion rifle. These guys can't hit the headshot for the most part on a standing still target.
So maybe they've got to
pump it up.
Maybe they've got to play more to level up their guns. Maybe they've got to, just get better with the linear fusion
if
they want to do the Prestige. Yeah. And is it okay to have PvE content that's that difficult?
I want it to make me cry. That's how hard I want it. When they came out with this 25% just across the board damage, I was like, they just made this a 0.25% less. A quarter easier to do. Why would you do that to a Prestige raid? I didn't understand. I thought it was lazy, in my opinion, to just say, okay, everybody gets 25% more damage. combine that with a melee. Now you've got 45%. I mean, you got another 20% damage on your regular guns, whatever. I thought to myself, man, what a lazy way to do this. Why not just do multipliers where we can choose how we want the raid to go, how we want, in tier the loot.
Let me ask you something, though. Do you feel like the prestige raid difficulty is the right way to do difficulty, though? Because it just seems like your guns don't kill them as quick and they have auto aim.
Well, you have team shot meta that's in trials, right? And that's kind of where Destiny 2 is right now. Everything is a team shot meta. Mm-hmm. If you have people that group together and team shot the ads on Prestige, you're going to be successful. That's just how Destiny 2 is currently built. It works in PvE and PvP. So with bathers, that's how we do it. You just have to have people that go together and switch fast enough, rotate fast enough to where when the bather spawns, you're right next to each other, you shoot them together. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to get that down.
Do you think that's the best way to have difficulty ramped up, though?
Well, that's not
like
the place where we wipe the most.
No, I don't think
the place where we wipe the most isn't because of bullet sponges. It's because of Scions in the Nightmare Realm. Okay. And there's still like a 2-shot or a 3-shot. So
that's understandable.
Artificial difficulty to us, I don't like that. Like still have like bullet sponges. That's artificial difficulty. I don't think that's the right answer. Mm-hmm. Having more mechanics and more things that are added, which they here say, it seems like there's not going to be any mechanic changes. Mirror Worlds.
No, they're not.
I'm a little bit disappointed on that front. Yeah. They're focusing mainly on challenges, and the challenge seems to be mainly lock loadouts. Mm-hmm. Or lock loadout types, I guess you want to call it that.
Yeah, I don't see anything else really kind of getting into other ways of challenging us.
It's a start. I get that.
They are doing some. I like the concept of the modifiers. Those make it interesting to me.
Modifiers are cool.
The modifiers are cool.
I love them. And when we were reading the TWAB earlier today, and then we saw the challenge cards for strikes, we knew that the raid stuff was coming because they had talked about they're going to get raid information. I was hoping that we'd have a challenge card type of thing for raids.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Currently, if you do a raid, normal or prestige, there's challenges that are there. And if you're having trouble with the challenge, you can choose not to do the challenge and still get the regular completion. And that's what the challenge card is too for Nightfalls. So I would love to see a challenge card modifier type of thing on a prestige raid.
It's good feedback.
We're of the same mindset on that. As far as here, you have to use this weapon. Here you have. We've never done any of that. I think that's the beauty of Destiny. You can use anything and come at it in a different way. It just kind of spears the creativity in what you use. We have people. God, Jack was using a colony on
earlier today, or he was using a colony
on
practicing on grenade launchers. He's like, "See, I told you, grenade launchers are the way."
So those things are fun. I think that because we do ragecations, we want people to teach themselves up. We want them to be better raiders so that they can better experience the end-game content and not have to rely on somebody else to walk them through step by step.
The idea is to avoid the must-have Gallahorn post that's there. It's
a good. Well, you're not going to need it if the only power is allowed is a linear fusion rifle.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, but then there's going to be a specific. That's the worry, And we're basing a lot of assumptions off of where we're leading.
And here's my thing now, Tefty. You don't think that the prestige is worth doing now? If you make it to where it's like that, it's not just that they're not going to be able to do it; they're going to just avoid it.
Unless there's rewards. Unless there's rewards that are specific to doing those challenges. True.
What I find is everybody wants the rewards just to drop. They want to go by the tree and just watch them fall out of the tree. If it's time investment, I can do without that reward.
So the thing that's interesting to me about this
end game, in my opinion.
The thing that's interesting to me about this is separate from rewards. It's the fact that I'm going to be able to go into the raid or the raid lair and have to approach it. It's like a challenge mode, right? It's like I have to approach it a new way, and that it's going to add a freshness to the raid, right? It's like week 1, I'm going in there with all precision weapons, and we have to figure out this raid again using this loadout. Week 2, brand new raid challenge. It's like a brand new learning experience. That is very exciting to me.
Yeah.
Because the raid, we saw this started for me with the Taken King is we had the same raid for an entire year. I learned it in week 1, By week 6, I had it pretty much mastered. I could tell you where exactly to stand so you'd never get shot when you're doing Oryx, right? It got boring, but this looks like it's going to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
It might
And
not be,
I appreciate that idea to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it might not be.
Think about what the community has been doing during, like, remember, so when we got in Destiny 1, I remember this a lot, with the Dark Below and for the, when you were in Vault of Glass, when you were doing any of the raids in Destiny 1, I felt like we would go back during those dry spells and we would make these challenges to ourselves, like doing Crota with punching only, like
Right. Yeah.
I think they're taking something that the community does anyway as challenges for themselves and just formalizing that and putting a reward to it. I feel like this is just digesting something that we've already been asking for.
Especially on a content creator side, you see people doing a roulette wheel for what their weapon loadouts are all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is, just Bungie's making the wheel.
Yeah, I like it. I like
I
the
think
idea.
my only concern is you tell people what gun they have to use. It's because they have a difficulty in bringing back snipers to what they once were. Well, now the only way you're going to get this is to use a sniper. So it's like that. For me, it's artificial bringing a weapon back to power. If you make it be the only thing that does the power, then that's artificial to me.
Mm-hmm.
You're making us use that. It doesn't necessarily mean that snipers are back to what they were. It's just harder to bring back and incorporate into the game because the way the game is today.
Yeah.
So we're just going to make everybody have to use it. All right. So snipers are back, guys. Hey, everybody wants snipers.
Isn't this
back.
dropping after the sandbox changes though?
It is.
So
Yeah.
we don't even know what state
that's a good point.
any
That's
of
a
these
good point,
guns are
Watts.
going to be in.
That actually is a really
that's
good
true
point.
too.
Yeah.
But
One of the things I was worried about is that, before you said that, if they don't know how to bring back snipers and shotguns and make them powerful where people use them, is this their answer? They make it to where you have no other option of guns to use. But I mean, if snipers really are different, which I hope they are, I miss my snipers.
Same,
I
man.
hope
We
so.
started off
talked
doing
about
prestige with snipers. We just assumed, hey, snipers, precision, yeah, let's do it. And we beat the raid with them, but
Found out later it
wasn't-
wasn't the best way.
yeah, it wasn't the best way. Like everyone does. Like you said, you do it 4 or 5 times, it becomes, But there's a lot of strat development that goes in there because we come from an approach of the person that doesn't know how to do it, that's never done it
But
before.
that's what's so cool about this is that now you're gonna need a new strat every week. You got to figure out a new strat every week.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting, right?
Tuesdays are
Fucking cool.
developmental day.
Yeah.
Hey, so just to clarify, I don't dislike this. I'm wary of it. I'm a little bit hesitant to how it's going to play out.
Also,
Yeah,
well, we've
I
all
like
gotta
them
play it.
switching.
Test
you know,
it
it's
out.
possible they might have some. They might have things in place for you in case you don't have certain weapons in your inventory. So they might just give you a weapon that says, "Here's a linear fusion rifle," in case you don't have one. They
Like the lens when it was, laser tag week in trials, they just sold it.
fun.
They sold it for Zer.
haven't they.
Yeah.
I feel like they've done that in the past in Destiny, where there's something that's in your inventory until you pass a certain story element. Does that ring a bell? I'm trying to think.
It goes away when you do a certain story element.
Yeah,
I mean, opening a D2, you got that sidearm, then turns into broken sidearm. You can never get that fixed
That-
sidearm or any weapon that you used in the first story mission. You can never use those.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible
the
they
broken
could.
ass ship that you fix, and if you switch it out of your inventory, it stays broken ass. And that ended up being the most rare ship in all of Destiny 1.
I basically started a new character to get that broken ass ship.
Oh my god.
You know
never
what?
repaired it.
I'm probably thinking of Borderlands 2, because Borderlands 2 does that a lot. You'll accept a quest, then you'll have a gun in your inventory that's specific to the quest. And maybe they could add something like that in
Legend
there.
of Acreus. A Legend of Acreus sits in your inventory until you do the certain
quest
things, and then it
does.
becomes the gun.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
see, maybe it could be
I think
something
the
like that.
Sturm, the Drang, all those exotic weapons actually stuck in your inventory
Yeah,
as
you had
a
to use
gun
them.
slot until you made it the gun.
Yeah, so let's say they do that. You load into the challenge mode or the prestige with the specific loadout, and they notice you don't have a linear fusion rifle in your inventory, so they give you one right there. That's part of that raid.
It's a green linear fusion rifle.
They give you a power level 1 garbage linear fusion rifle. It shoots peanuts.
You should have farmed more.
It shoots popcorn at people.
It's interesting because their goals are clearly stated here. The goal of the new prestige mode is simple. Provide new ways to engage with raid content each week. New ways to engage with different weapons in your vault. And new rewards to chase. I think if I'm listening to Toast, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this is kind of a simple, maybe first way out of the gate that they can think of, but a new way to engage with different weapons in your vault could be more dynamic. If they modified or had different modifiers to the raid in such a way that you would have to, the community should have to discover what that new weapon needs to be to accomplish that, right?
So every Tuesday there'll be a bunch of videos coming out of this is what I use and this is why it works. It just seems like a forced way to make us use new weapons, which
interesting.
It's a double-edged sword.
Actually saying that Cosmos said specifically that individual weapons will only ever be quest rewards, so you can grab it before you raid.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right.
So that solves that. That's cool. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that idea. I'd like to see it get more complicated or more, more
innovative.
Well, all of this stuff that we're getting right now.
Yeah, it's a start. I think that I'd like to see more depth in that. I want a prestige, and I don't know. I guess it's just difficulty in programming, but I don't know why they don't have one because we always talked about it. I want a prestige raid that there's no way I could help anybody get through it unless they've got a ton of experience and they've done these things time and time again. There's just no way.
We have a training session.
It's like you are absolutely crazy level, because this is what we do. I mean, we bought Destiny for PvE. No mistake about it. We don't put any time in PvP. We are like your linear opposites. You guys do the PvP thing. We love PvE. Because in the hour and a half that it takes us to do a prestige raid with people that we are introducing ourselves to, it gives us the time and it affords us the time to get to know who they are. Because that's a big thing of our community. We want to know who we play with. We want to know who honors us doing what we do with a donation of time, man. These guys are spending their real life time hanging out, learning about us, and we want to repay that by learning about them.
And if we go play PvP, we're too focused on the game. I mean, because I think we're naturally more PvE players, you know. So the focus is too much there on PvE, PvP, excuse me, where PvE kind of has that more team building for us.
Next week on February 13th is the day that the Crimson Days begins. There's also going to be a hot fix that drops at that time. And the game is actually going to be down from 8 a.m. Pacific to 12 p.m. Pacific before Crimson Days goes live. So I think is that 3 p.m. Eastern? It'll go live. So a little later in the day than we're used to for an event. That seems to be like the new Destiny 2 way of doing stuff. And then we'll be able to do it up, double up, get your date, get in the Crucible, start shooting mans.
Shooting the mans.
Looking forward to that.
Either way, I'm excited that this is finally happening in Destiny because I've wanted modifiers to happen in raids since like the first year. I always thought it would be awesome.
As soon as you played a Nightfall and you'd done the raid, you're like, they should totally do Nightfall raids.
Be like, why not have burns and raids? Come on, this is obvious. A Nightfall raid, come on, So
they tried that out with Prison of Elders, and I feel like it wasn't super successful. There's some weeks where it was so easy to do Prison of Elders, and there are other weeks where it was just really difficult.
Didn't they take the burn off of Prison of Elders after it was Solar Burn Week on Skullus with the Galahorn?
Yeah.
Skullus. They just burned them so quick. They took the burns off after that, I think.
Yeah, I didn't have a Galahorn at the time.
But yeah, same stuff. We always wanted like strike lists or raid lists. You could go through and raid playlist. I think that would be great. Just have those things change just weekly, not just the guns, but the mechanics of the raid could change. I like the Prison of Elders concept, but it got boring too. I liked having a different boss every different week and going through those things, but it only lasted.
You guys remember Shankburn?
Oh yeah.
That whole series
I
of
forget?
guns that came out with like, a sniper rifle with
Sniper,
Shankburn.
Rocket, it was rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher. And you're like, what? Why?
You guys want to do some Twitter questions?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Captain at the grind says, as regular raiders, what improvements and adjustment would you guys like to see made to raids in the future? P.S. Great to see Peanut and Toast on the podcast. Love you guys.
God, what improvements! I'd like to see stats at the end of the game, man. Bring that back.
Yes.
Yeah.
As people that like to analyze everything that's going on, I mean,
Mission
What kind of
summaries.
stats- what
with
kind of
that.
mission
stats would you-
summaries. Mission
Yeah,
summaries.
like what kind of stats though?
So a DPS is always a good one to see who has what DPS, because at the end you complete it, but you realize that you were lacking compared to everybody else. So it's like, what was I using? Oh, what were you using? You can start comparing. Orb creation. I always like seeing that on
Hell yes.
on nightfalls and stuff or strikes.
Deputy's into this
on.
whole orb
I
creation.
want to see
thing
all the
now.
orbs.
We-
In fact,
we-
I have
we
less
want-
desire to make
whatever.
orbs in a raid because I can't see it at the end. I want to see that number.
He
Well, we-
likes to
we
have
just wanna see
external
people-
motivation.
I think it's good to motivate yourself. And like I said, we always want people to try and want to be better themselves. And if they could see, wow, I only got this much DPS. What was I doing wrong? Then they can kind of work on that for the next time. We always like to leave people with a go away, Hey, if I were you, I would work on this. I would go do the Nightfall Prestige every week because you're having trouble staying alive. Things that we can target them into so that the next time they come in a little more empowered. Just to help them out, not with us, because like I said, we're one of the few people that care. We don't care about, our image or anything else. If a raid takes us 7 hours, we're going to be there until it's
Well,
done.
we also have the benefit that that's what we stream. So we're going to be doing raids no matter what. So if we get stuck in one, if we completed this, we just be in a raid right afterwards anyways. So it doesn't matter if this one takes a long time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Blue Knight Zero says, realistically, how long do you think it will take for Destiny 2 to feel like a proper sequel to Destiny 1 Year 3?
Let me check the calendar here real quick.
I really hope.
How long-
I really hope that like September comes around and it's a massive where the community is on fire because of the amazing things that they've brought to the game at that point.
Yeah.
I really hope
The
so.
Activision earnings call was today, and they confirmed that there is going to be a Comet release in September. Well, this fall.
Mhm.
So
Well,
I mean,
that's-
we all had, the community as a whole had assumed it,
Yep.
Yeah.
but now it's
Yeah,
confirmed by Activision.
Now we know. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take at least till September, or at least to the Comet. It may take
Think beyond that.
longer. I mean,
How long did
Like-
it take Destiny 1?
It was
Like
1 year.
eight
Take
years.
a
It
year.
was
Year
over
three.
a year.
it took till Year 3 to get as good as Year 3.
So there you go.
No, Taken
we got a
King-
little bit of time, but
Taken King was
Taken
awesome.
King was
It's a
amazing.
huge
Taken
difference.
King
Yeah.
was the different. It was a
And
deal
then the
breaker.
And
Iron
that was
Lords,
1 year later. Taken King was literally 1 year later after release. So if they can take all the things that they're
all the
learning,
things.
all the things, the whole bucket, and add some special stuff on top, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And release it in fall. I think
I feel like we're in Groundhog Day,
No,
Yeah.
I feel like if they nail
Yeah.
the sandbox update and then they bring out really a lot of content and all that stuff in September, I think we'll be in a good spot.
yeah,
But a lot rests on that sandbox update.
it really
the
does.
27th
Sandbox
of
update is
March
huge.
is when it starts. 27th of March is when that process starts for me, and I think it ends through the summer.
I think the sandbox update is huge, like Watt says. I think that the Comet is huge, but I think they absolutely have to figure out a way. They got to do something about the loot pool, whether it's bringing back random drops, random rolls on drops, or just expanding the total amount of possible drops. They got to do something because
Bring back all the D1 legendaries.
there's just not enough stuff. There's not enough stuff.
Take all of D1 legendaries, all the models. Just start
All of
bringing them back weekly as
Throw 'em
like free
all in.
updates. Seriously, like
Control copy, control C, control V. That's all they got to do.
obviously they need to do some like
The button.
the actual perks have to be revised and so on and so
Yeah.
forth for D2, but still, like they've got all those assets. I think as a community, we're not going to be pissed off if suddenly 1,000 Yard Stare is back as a free, like, hey, this week this is what you can go hunt for in the engrams and all that. They need to add more to the loot pool.
I'd love to see some throwback like activities. Like if they're talking about having to bring back the adventures and these I just blanked on the name of them. The tunnels, the
Lost sectors.
Lost sectors. If they're trying to find ways of reinvigorating them, trying to find a way that you could work those cool spaces into getting some of those specific drops to come from year one. Or
I really don't
Destiny.
want year one stuff. I want new stuff, man.
Yeah, we're
I really
gonna
want
get
new
new stuff, man. But
Yeah.
Like I'm still disappointed that we're getting
D1
old
stuff,
exotics
maybe.
back. Like I want new stuff.
Oh.
If you're gonna give us old stuff, like
They're
why
not
did you
just
take
old
it away from us in the
exotics.
first place?
They're like nerfed old exotics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll pay
Well,
for
not-
new
that-
stuff.
except for the Bida.
I'll pay for new stuff,
Yeah.
but old stuff I'll take for free when the loot economy is as starved as it is right now.
I agree with that.
I
I
agree with that.
agree. I mean, for free, who can?
You're not going to
complain?
complain about anything.
Free.
Yeah.
we already paid for it, peanut butter.
Yep. Well, that's true too.
Dominic Zulo says, I've been looking for a game to fill in that rating itch like Destiny. Aside from Borderlands and WoW, what do you recommend? I'm on Xbox.
Monster Hunter.
Just play Monster Hunter. It's not a raid, but I mean, it
It's
will
close
scratch
enough.
the itch.
It's
We
I
fun.
don't
haven't
know.
played it. We've
It's
been watching.
it's a heavy
Some of those
grind
boss
game,
battles are
but
like
it doesn't give me that raid feeling. Like getting 6 people in, doing complex tasks, trying to figure stuff out.
You can get 4 people in and do complex monster hunts.
Yeah.
You're swinging a sword over and over again and dodging when you're about to get attacked.
Yeah, and then
That
you're
is-
bitching at your
that's
opponent.
not-
You're
that's
bitching
not
at
it.
your friend when they die for the 5th
What-
time on a
wait,
fight, and then you have to
what
reset
HR
the
are you,
entire
Ryan?
thing.
We must know the answer.
Yeah, what HR are
I
you?
don't know. 240? I really have no idea.
Have you seen the
7, maybe?
Have you,
I don't know.
Have you seen the 15-minute credit roll?
No.
Okay, then you don't know. You don't know what's
This is
there.
Is
Yeah.
there a raid in Monster? Is there any activity in Monster Hunter that requires a team of 4, not even a team of 6, to do separate tasks to take down a beast?
No.
Or are you all just trying to do DPS as fast as you can? and
You're all
not get
trading
killed?
aggro and trying to do DPS. Have you tried to kill Nergigante
Right.
yet?
No.
Okay, then go kill Nergigante and then come back to me.
Yeah.
All right.
No, seriously. This is
All right.
no,
I will
no
do
joke.
this, but
No,
I,
right now,
I-
Brian.
Right
No,
now.
Turn it on
Boot
right
up.
now.
Let's see
Load
it.
it up.
Let's see it, Briar. Right now.
I do not think that it's the same as a raid.
Okay.
It's not.
No.
It's not.
Okay.
I've been watching. It's not.
But
It
it's
looks fun.
extremely
Don't get me wrong.
satisfying.
It's fun. I'm not talking down about Monster Hunter. I'm just saying it's not a raid. It's not the same experience.
Watching the game, it looks like a very interesting world. And the more that I hear just amazing things about it, the more I'm looking to get it. But a question to you guys who are playing it, does it get infuriating to see single-digit damage numbers on repeat? Because every time I'm watching somebody play, it's like single-digit damage numbers.
It's actually
until
a
there's that
super-
one big hit.
It's a super satisfying loop in that, yeah, you do see very low damage numbers, but as soon as you take that monster down, you bring his parts, you get him forged into a new weapon, and then you see bigger single digit numbers. And then the next time,
Eventually,
double
it gets up
digit
to 2.
numbers.
I don't
Okay.
see
You know, like,
single
it's-
digit
You're
numbers.
constantly improving.
Yeah, I haven't
like,
played
almost
it,
every
so
time you take down a monster.
Use
At
a
the
great
beginning.
sword.
What I
Get
watched.
good with a great sword, and you'll see triple digit numbers consistently, and you'll get very
Did you just say
excited.
get good?
He did.
Oh, you
Brian,
got to get good with a great sword.
Have
He
you,
told me to get
have you
good.
considered getting good?
Have you ever considered?
Hey, if you're gonna check if you're gonna join up to kill Nergigante, you better have checked the get good box, because I don't want to have to not get my rewards from too many carts. All right.
I'm sorry. That monster doesn't strike fear in me. The name is just Nerdigante.
Nergigante.
Nerdigante.
All right.
The
To get
monsters
back
are
to the
awesome.
original question, like any answers, like aside from Borderlands and WoW, any raid? I know Final Fantasy is at 15 is really popular right now. That's got a raid in it.
How much more content are we getting in Sea of Thieves?
Good question.
Is there going to be like a raid type
Kraken?
encounter? Yeah, Kraken with a giant whirlpool that you have to
There's
go
a
through.
Kraken. That would be awesome.
Good lord,
There's
that'd be
got to be a
amazing.
Kraken. It's
That
a
would be
pirate
amazing.
game.
Yeah, there should be. There needs to be.
Yeah.
a Kraken.
Is there a raid in Warframe?
There is, but it's like incredibly mechanic heavy, and it doesn't have the same type of epic tone. It's like there's a lot of Warframe mechanics, that you go do that have more sharper fail requirements behind it. So it doesn't exactly feel like the raid type of thing. You know, killing an Eidolon in Plains Eidolon, that feels very epic. But it's more like Monster Hunter, where you're hunting this thing in a short amount of time.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't look like there's anything that's scratching the itch for raiders in.
Why do you think Destiny's so popular in the PvE?
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's nothing that's going against it.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
What about the things in Division? I heard that was a good update.
The 1.8 or
The incursion or whatever they are.
So incursions are the same type of thing that how Warframe is, where it's like it's more advanced versions of a mission instead of feeling like this life or death situation killing Callus.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
So
the answer is no, Dominic. Sorry.
No.
If you're looking for a
Try
Destiny
Monster Hunter
specific
World.
raid, no.
No.
I would love if there was another game that had something like that.
Oh wait, what was the other game from Gearbox that came out that just didn't do well?
Stillborn?
Oh yeah, what was
Stillborn?
Battleborn.
That? Oh, wow.
Battleborn.
Battleborn,
The PvE that I played in the PvE portions of the game that I played were actually really interesting. The boss fights had a lot of raid-like mechanics, and it's very similar to Borderlands. I haven't played the full game. You might want to go watch a review on it, but
Or see if there's anybody to play with.
wait, yeah, I think it went free to play. Actually,
It is, yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
so there.
Like that was like last year, right?
That was
Yeah.
a while ago, yeah. It's been
That was
free
a
to
while
play
ago.
for a bit.
Yeah, a year at the same time Overwatch came out. That was not a good idea.
Yeah.
Hope's gone.
It came out like within a couple. Actually, when it came out, Overwatch's beta came out, and the beta of Overwatch crushed it.
Yeah.
Zach asks, is it shocking to hear that Destiny 3 was already in the works near Destiny 2 launch?
No.
No.
Damn
Destiny
well
2
better
was
be.
in the works when Destiny 1 was going.
Yeah.
Well, not the one we got.
Yeah.
Fair
But
enough.
no, even if the game came out in 5 years, you would hope that they would be working on it right now.
Yeah.
Game
was that
development takes a very long time.
Yeah.
How long did it take from the idea point to when Destiny 1 actually came out?
So
Years.
10 years.
Something like six to 8 years.
It was a
I think.
ridiculous amount of time.
Yep.
I would hope they're working on Destiny 3 right now.
Yeah.
Chris X says, you guys think we're going to get some of those updates to the game sooner with a majority of the player base dropping more and more every day? Also, Briar 2020, let's start it here.
For the Olympics? You going to the Olympics? Wrestling.
Oh, Brian.
Wrestling, right?
Amazing. Wrestling, that's right. Brian is a professional wrestler.
I don't think the updates are going to come any sooner than they would have put in that development update. And frankly, I'd rather see them take longer and be awesome than be soon and not great.
Isn't it kind of a
They can
win?
only go as fast. Right?
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a win that we already have slated monthly updates.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That is a
That's
win.
more than we were getting before. Quality of life is what everybody's been asking for a
I
long
think the
time.
steps that they're taking are right on track, man. I think they're doing okay.
And it's all starting levels, and as they go forward, I hope they'll increase. But I think it's at a good pace at the moment.
Sir Gives a Lot says, do you think Destiny franchise will ever live up to its potential, or will it be a franchise we ask ourselves what could have been?
I think the Bungie we have now is on the right track. I think they're starting to understand why people like their game. I think they're starting to understand what the community expects and the community wants. So I think if they keep doing this, I think we can have a game that we knew Bungie could make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And taking risks. They need to take more risks because Bungie played
Absolutely.
very safe.
They need
So if
to
they
go
keep
big.
taking risks,
That's actually
go big,
that's
exactly.
that's the thing that I want to see in the updates is the risk taking, and that's like I wish it was faster. I do because I want to play Destiny and I want a bunch of people to enjoy it at the same time while they're playing Destiny as well. But they obviously have to get it right. But at the same time, I feel like they could take more risks. They could screw some stuff up and let something run rampant for a little bit. That could be fun. Like
Yeah.
if for some reason a certain build is making you be able to one-shot bosses in a melee condition. It's like, well, that's kind of fun for a week or two.
Yeah.
And then they could dial it back.
Man. They wanted balance. Everybody was screaming balance. Oh, we wanted more balance. Balance isn't fun, man. It's not like over the top fun. Balance is kind of boring.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's missing in Destiny right now. I mean, there was some of those things that were just ridiculous that made it fun that everybody enjoyed, and it seemed like
Hero
for
moments.
a while there. Yeah, well, they're going to up the speeds. I get that, but I think the time to kill needs to be in conjunction with that to get those things back.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, I think that's what is missing here. They didn't go over the top. They went a little bit safe, and they're trying to chase that thing instead of just going, hey, you want overpowered? Here you go. Boom. Deal with that. And then let everybody say, oh, that's just way OP. And then when they fix that, let everybody have it for a week like they did with the lens. That was a blast. That was the most fun I had just laughing in PvP when everybody was just doing laser tag, man. It was that's all you'd get killed by, and it was just good fun.
Yeah, and
I think that's what's missing here.
Yeah, and let me clarify also by what I said is that I want them to take risks like that continuously instead of waiting 6 months and then being like, well, does this work? No, it's like it needs to be relatively quick to try things out.
Yeah.
So then we could tell them that it is or is not working, so then they can actually polish it. Because Destiny 2 is essentially what happened when we didn't get to help them guide that vision a little bit as a community. And now we've had the past 6 months of having to tell them, well, this isn't fun because of this, even though you built your whole reward structure around it. We probably could have told you that in a beta or something, or maybe like a D1 test environment or something like that. And yeah, anyways.
When it comes to raid mods, I really like the idea that it poses. Just having these different options, more choices of what kind of build I want my character to have. But I really like the melee one where you have to kill an enemy with a melee, you get 20% extra damage. It's like a condition thing. You do something to get something, as opposed to that just like flat 25% damage increase. You know, different builds that make you play a different way. I think that's huge.
All right, guys, you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
You're back, Pope.
welcome back.
Computer crashed.
Back to the question. Like, I really feel like that question will ever live up to its potential. It depends on each individual person. Like that question only gets answered internally.
Yeah, and what your expectation level is, what they're living up to is only in your mind. So
yeah, like the potential of Destiny could be 1,000 different things to 1,000 different people. It's to some people it could be this like really deep RPG. To some people it's just a really great PvP experience. Like it really depends.
Yeah.
Andy Martinez says, "What is your favorite weapon in Monster Hunter?"
No, this is where Tefty's gonna shame everyone again.
Yeah.
You're not using this thing. I'm a Tefty. I'm Midnight Coup shaming.
Whoa.
Well,
Wow.
I am, in fact, Midnight Coup shaming. Guilty as charged. Let me get the name right, because I can never remember what the hell its name is.
You don't even remember the own name of your weapon. You're going to shame us.
No, I remember how badass it looks in my brain.
I like the one that does the 2-digit damage numbers.
You got to have the triple digit. Triple digit is where it's at.
Oh, does it go triple digit?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
And
I
it
like
can
the
go
hammer
quad.
that Datto uses. That hammer.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Datto
Hammers
uses
are
is pretty nice.
incredibly fun.
I use the Nergigante line. I think it's called Purgation's Atrocity. I'm trying to look for it so I know for sure. Let me see.
What type of weapon is it?
It's a great sword. And it looks like an axe.
I use the didgeridoo. That's the weapon I use.
Well,
Pretty
there
good
is a bagpipes, so you can.
Yeah, there's actually bagpipes in the
You
game.
can use bagpipes.
You can use bagpipes. You
Really?
can play
As a
them
weapon.
and hit monsters with them.
Yeah. Yeah, Purgation's Atrocity. It is badass. Badass.
Okay.
I've mostly been using Nurgle Whisper, which is a bow from the Nergigante line.
Hell yeah.
Because it has high Elder Seal.
Yep.
Because screw those dragons. Yeah, so that's what I've been using because I'm mostly just fighting Elder Dragons now.
Does it seem like anything from the Nergigante line is good?
It's like Vault of Glass.
It feels like it. I also use the longsword as
No,
well.
I know what you mean. I have all the armor from Nergigante too.
It's great.
The armor is amazing for me.
You can't go wrong with
Perfect.
it.
Yeah.
I use the bow from the what's the electric squirrel?
Toby.
Toby.
I use the Toby Kadachi bow.
It's a good bow.
It's a really good bow. Has high affinity,
Kadachi
thunder
strike
damage.
bow.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you go against something that is like immune to lightning though? What do you switch to?
I don't care.
You forego DPS?
No, I just land sick dragon piercer strikes that do that forego thunder damage. It doesn't matter.
You still giving up some DPS?
Yeah, but I'm breaking parts off the monster. It doesn't matter.
It does. You could break them off quicker.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
All right, next question. Zachary K says, do you feel like the PC release of Destiny 2 might have fractured the hardcore Twitch community? There are much more people on console, and they can no longer play with their favorite streamers since most are only on PC now. Have streamers been getting any backlash about this from fans?
No, because I've been playing on PS4.
No, because we do all 3 platforms.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've definitely found people saying, I wish you were on console when I'm playing on PC.
I have to.
Yep.
I have too.
We've been getting the I wish you were on PC because we prioritize console more because we didn't want people feeling left out. So we've been getting the I wish you were on PC right now.
The
frames.
Next frame, please.
Yeah, next
frame,
slide.
please.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Thinking back on D1 also, it was always like, I wish you were on Xbox. I wish you were on PS4. I wish you were on Xbox. I wish you were on PS4.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
the only time it actually hurts is when it's from somebody that I used to play with all the time. But I gotta say, all right, I'm gonna pip out. Was it Tech Yes City, a YouTuber out of I think Australia, did a video today where he built a computer for $40, that can play Fortnite at 60 frames per second.
40?
Tech Yes City. $40.
$40.
Wow.
It's using used parts. It's not brand new parts, right? It's bargain bin stuff running Fortnite at 60 frames per second.
That's like 75 cents per frame. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now we're
So
talking.
it's not like just because you know your favorite Twitch streamer has a $3,000 PC doesn't mean you have to have a even $1,000 PC to play.
Exactly.
It's very true.
Yep.
We have people that find deals all the time. There's been some that are like decent PC builds that are like $500 or less. There's one that was like $200. So it can be done.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's a killer deal.
Yeah. It's worth checking that video out because it's pretty interesting. $40.
Yeah, I've also found a lot of people who have switched over to the PC side and then suddenly are getting distracted by all these other amazing games that are on PC.
Right, that they never had access to.
Yeah, they got it for Destiny, and Destiny on PC is an amazing experience. I think it's fantastic, whether it's mouse and keyboard or controller. But then you play all these other games on Steam, and it's like a kid in a candy shop. There's so
you have
much
access to all these games, indie games coming out all the time that are free. Like you can play such a large variety on PC.
Yeah,
I've been playing a game this week. It's a new battle royale game called Islands of Nine.
Heard about
where
that.
it feels like Call of Duty combined with like a battle royale game. It is really fast paced and really fun. Holy shit, Pope! What is that sound?
What the fuck
Make
are
it
you
stop,
doing?
Pope. Make it stop, Pope.
You can't even hear us. He has his headphones
Pope's like,
on.
why mute a mic? Why mute a mic when I can just leave it unmuted?
I can't mute my mic. I don't have the muting mic thing.
You can mute it on Skype at least. Let Nick deal with it.
Oh, I guess I could have done that here.
Sam says, do you think Bungie will ever make Destiny more of an RPG? I think it would be able to help with more aspects of the game, as well as allowing them to add more mechanics to raids, similar to Monster Hunter, using different weapons for more damage on certain parts and enemies.
What? No.
Just
Holt said he only uses a bow and that's it. One bow from Toby Kadachi.
Well, he only uses a golden gun in Destiny.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm the type of player that finds the one thing that I like and I don't really change it.
Definitely,
No,
I've been using Better Devils for the past 3 months.
He's been eating the same steak every Thursday. Since
It's actually
Bros
gumbo.
don't fix it.
Gumbo every Thursday, and Captain Crunch cereal every Wednesday morning, and
You go, Holtzmann. You go, man.
Raisin
guys
Bran,
give
but
shit,
yeah.
man.
What day?
Raisin Bran. I'm sorry.
What day is Taco Bell?
No.
No, that's
It's
Jack in
definitely
the Box
Thursday.
Day,
Judge
probably.
Judy is on Thursday.
Yeah.
Gotta go to Walmart and get my underwear.
2,336 toothpicks.
Definitely needs gas. Ton of gas. Yep.
I'm a very good driver.
That's not funny. Holtzmann, I love you.
I would love to see. I actually fully expected, like before the release of Destiny 2, that it was gonna embrace the RPG roots, because I felt like that's one of the things that we really liked about it. And they didn't. I hope they do in the future, because it'd be really cool.
I hope
Like,
they do. I hope they will. I think Destiny shines the more RPG it is. So yeah.
I
Absolutely.
feel like combining Masterworks and ornaments kind of it slants in that direction, right? It's like now I can customize my armor to do what I want it to do and look how I want it to do to look, and that's cool. I'd definitely like them to lean into the RPG aspects more.
I think it would, customizability makes you have a fonder relationship with your character.
Yeah.
Come back more.
Mm-hmm.
I think a little bit is good. I don't think the game will ever go full RPG, but a little.
I really wish it would, because like Monster Hunter is highlighting specifically why that stuff works. You put time into a weapon, you upgrade it, you get the next level of it, you invest all this energy and time into wanting to get your gear higher, and it creates an emotional response. And that we had that in Destiny 1, and then they really reduced that down to just the moment it dropped for you in Destiny 2. And that's when you've got investment in your weapon.
Even reduced it during Destiny 1, right? Like in year one, Destiny 1, you had to get the weapon, then grind to fill in the little bubbles and make it more powerful. Players said they didn't like it, so they took it out.
So, Tep, what happens in Monster Hunter when they say, okay, now you have to kill this monster with a spork, a butter knife, and
go on
a stick?
Perfect. I'm ready to eat it after I kill it.
Amazing.
It's
I
perfect.
want that.
I will have the cat chef cook that up immediately afterwards.
Wait, I've been told that a perfectly cooked meal is well done in this game.
Yeah, and that's some
Yeah.
bullshit.
It's not a perfect game.
That is.
It's not a perfect game.
It's pretty good, but it's not perfect.
It's definitely not perfect. It's got
That's
it's
wrong.
got its issues.
K Brash says, it seems like orbs created from Masterworks don't give you the same amount of energy as orbs created from supers. Have you noticed this?
They do not.
That's because you can get a double kill every 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, bounce.
They
Baby
should.
orbs.
What? They're not the same.
Baby orbs. They only last a minute, too.
And orbs created from supers are not the same as other orbs created from supers. Depending on how you earned your super, the orbs will be smaller. If you got your super from picking up a ton of orbs, you will not generate as many orbs as someone who generated their super from killing everything.
Mm. You got to earn those orbs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mine
was
fatty
a
orbs
mechanic that was in
created
Destiny
equal.
1 as well. So, it's not a new thing.
However, one thing that has come up is that orbs disappear now. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys have seen that a lot.
Yeah.
I can understand why that is a thing.
Yeah,
What
come do the layer with us. You'll understand why.
There's so many of them. It's like
It's a carpet.
It's a
Yeah. Orb
snowfall.
carpet.
It's an orb carpet. It is.
Everton
you guys have a
Cardasso.
great strategy for that. Sorry, good.
Everton Cardasso says Epic made a post today explaining what happened to the Fortnite servers last week. Wouldn't it be nice if Bungie did something like that?
When was the
I
last
picked this
time
one
Bungie
because-
servers were down?
Well, I picked this one because I feel like Bungie's been doing that for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, including this week's TWAB. It's like the level of communication that's coming out of Bungie is pretty fucking top notch right now. So I actually picked this question just to dispute the premise of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't recall having a problem with Bungie servers.
I don't
Usually
think
Well, no,
it's
they're not saying like
or-
they're not saying the server specifically. They're that what he's
Communication.
referencing is the type of communication that they're giving, right?
Yeah, I'm down with that. I think
Calling
they-
bullshit on themselves when they fucked up. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I like what they're doing right now. I think Bungie. I don't know if I could ask for. I don't know. I feel like Bungie is communicating the way that I've wanted them to for a very long time. So I just want them to keep doing this and do more of this.
Right.
I don't feel like I need to have Bungie kowtow to me for me to feel like they've atoned for their sins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just start making the game that we want to play. I don't need them to, sprawl out in front of me and beg for my forgiveness. I don't give a that. I don't need that shit.
I like what's going on right now.
Yeah, I need them to just
what's
start
going on right now.
communicating better and producing the changes to the game that I want to see, and those actions mean more to me than them, capitulating themselves and prostrating themselves in front of me and like saying, "Oh, I'm sorry." I don't need that.
Please nail this sandbox update.
Yes,
Nail it, please.
Jimbo Moore says, "Do you think the Crimson Days event is a step in the right direction regarding loot drops? Loving the show."
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah,
I do. Definitely.
Yes.
play the game to get it. To be nice.
Exactly.
100% community
So I want.
feedback that's creating it seems like.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to skip down the list and get to the fun stuff. All right. Shauna says boxers or briefs.
See,
I have a feeling you guys asked for this question because I saw about 10, 15 times.
I don't even know what you're talking about,
Like,
man.
why do you guys want
Am I
to talk
supposed to
about
hit
your
the record
underwear
button
so
now?
bad in front of
Wait a
us? That's my question.
Hey, we wanted to find out a little
let's
bit about you
skip the
guys.
whole
man.
question. Let's skip the whole question and find out why this is important to you two.
That's a good question.
This would not have
We-
been an issue if
these-
this wasn't the first silly question you asked. Okay,
I know, right? Right?
this is like
Right?
number 3. It would have been like it fit right in.
Exactly.
And boxer.
You didn't have to start with this one there, Briar. Jeez.
Let me ask. It's
he
very
sees through your
important.
bullshit.
I want to present a third option. I know it wasn't part of this, but the third option
None.
is just commando.
Yeah.
Commando.
No,
Go
there's
commando,
a
right.
fourth superior option here, and it's called boxer briefs.
Oh, the hybrid.
Perfect amalgamation of boxers
A
and
hybrid,
briefs.
yeah. Right. Okay.
The hybrid.
So I think it's situational, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If I'm going to work, I'm wearing a suit.
Commando.
I
You don't want to feel unrestrained.
no. I wear tidy whities because I can't have like the boxers, riding
don't
up
want that
with my
bunch
dress
up.
shirt tucked in.
yeah, you don't want the boxer bunch.
Yeah.
man.
Oh, the boxer
No,
bunch
You
up
know.
could drive me crazy.
Oh, it drives me absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And then I'd say
There's gym attire as well.
yeah. And if you're gonna
Commando.
be just chilling, yeah. There's only one way to go. 90% of the time it's commando for sure.
Yes.
Mr. Macalito says, "Love the show. Always tons of heartwarming laughs. My question is, if you could only eat one kind of cookie for a whole week and nothing but said cookie, what kind of cookie would you choose to eat for an entire week?"
Just a week.
A week.
It's not like a lifetime one.
I know. I feel like I
Saying
could go
it.
any direction with
I
this.
feel
a
like I
desert
could have
island
any
cookie?
cookie.
If
That's
it was a
already,
desert
like-
island cookie, now we're talking about like some real decisions.
Yeah.
I'm talking a week, man. I could eat a cookie.
No, let's make it a desert island cookie. All right.
Oh, you're up in the game.
Let's up it. Yeah.
Wait, the entire desert island is a cookie?
Okay. You're on a desert island. It's
You're
made
on-
of
you
only
eat the
that
smaller
cookie.
your island
Island
gets.
is a cookie.
It can only be that cookie, and you're there for
You
the
know
rest
what?
of your life.
Even though this
What's it
isn't
gonna
my,
be?
if I'm having to survive and this isn't even my favorite cookie, I'm going oatmeal raisin because, that's the highest
A little more
survivability.
nutritious,
Yeah,
Oh.
that's because
Keep you alive.
you
sustain
gotta
you.
survive, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm just going for pleasure,
Pope, this is 2 answers, man.
I know.
I already answered.
Yeah.
It's a desert island, and you're the only inhabitant. This isn't the other type of desert island where there are other types of inhabitants, and you can go for pure pleasure.
Cookies.
It's all your cookie.
So are
Well, I
other
want my
people there,
cookie
but
and I
they're
want to eat it too.
They're not eating your cookies on the island. It's your island and made of that cookie, and you have a lifetime
Oh.
supply.
I thought they were gonna eat my cookie. Never mind.
Peanut butter. What kind of cookie?
Oh God.
Is this only going to be
White
the second
chocolate
time?
macadamia nut.
I
Nice.
thought you were going to say peanut butter. Oh,
No.
man. This is
Oddly
such a good
enough,
opportunity.
On a
That's for
desert
the
island,
sandwich.
You want
Well,
peanut
Put it on a
butter?
cookie.
Like, you're water
Yeah,
starved
no.
on a desert island. You don't want peanut butter. You don't want nothing to do with peanut butter.
Good point,
That
Briar.
wasn't part of the
Wow.
question, okay? So if you could have whatever one you wanted.
I'm gonna go with just basic chocolate chip for me. Like I got extremely fond memories as a kid of my mom making chocolate chip cookies and
Yeah.
eating the dough. Like that was
Oh, the dough is the best part.
easily my favorite
When
thing.
it's cooked, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
You're eating the cookie. You're not eating
My
the dough,
wife-
Tefty.
My
Focus
wife
here.
won't let my kids eat the cookie dough.
I mean,
Even
it's
if
a
it's
little
homemade?
dangerous, but it's
Come on.
Even if it's homemade.
It turned out somewhat okay.
See, I understand.
turned out fine.
If you bought it
I
from a
was
store,
surprised.
if you bought it from a store and popped it open, that raw cookie
Yeah.
dough, you're gambling right there. You might get some salmonella. But if you made it at home And if you can have the gluten, because that is one of the things I dearly miss from being gluten-free, is being able to eat that delicious cookie dough. My God, I'd be scooping it up. Anyways, even if it's baked, that's my fave.
Tefty, you didn't specify that the cookies that you were going to get would be gluten-free, so the djinn that granted this wish to you,
Desert Island,
the cookies that you can eat are, I mean...
This is Desert Island, and I do not, in fact, have celiac on the Desert Island, okay?
Oh, so...
They cured me, but I'm on the desert island forever.
I figured, it'd be easier to just make gluten-free cookies than cure the celiac.
If it's gonna be desert island, I'm having full gluten cookies.
Yeah, I think Tefty's got it right here. I think a homemade. It's got to be homemade chocolate chip cookie. There's nothing better.
Can we make those chocolate chip cookies a little special?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm game for that.
Because that's what you want on an island. You're stuck there forever.
You want cookies that your mother made for you. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Mother-made cookies.
Bryce Huffman says, what do you secretly judge other people on when you visit their homes? Mine is the quality of toilet paper. One ply shouldn't even be a thing.
I'm with you on that, bro.
No, that wasn't mine. That was part of the question.
Oh, that's mine. I'm with him on that all the way.
Yeah. It's a good answer.
Are you a one-ply person?
No, God, no.
Okay.
That's John Wayne
I'd
toilet
rather
paper,
not have
man.
like
Rough and
internet
tough and
than
won't
have
take
one
shit
ply.
off anyone, man.
I judge them how many pillows they have on their bed. If they have the amount that you would normally sleep on, like maybe one to prop you up, one to actually put your head on, whatnot, no more than the required amount, very utilitarian with the pillow usage, then I'm okay with them. However, if they're the people that stack 20 pillows on their bed purely for visual purposes or to just show off their wealth, because that's how you show off wealth, how many pillows you have on your bed.
Or they're perhaps female.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I'm just going to ask
Got a point
who designed this, who put all the pillows on there, and then I'm not going to talk to that person.
You know what I've been told? They throw the pillows off the bed when they go to sleep. So really, what's the point?
Exactly. You go to a hotel.
You know what? If you gotta
files.
ask the question as to why your wife or significant other is doing all the things that she does, then you are not ready for marriage.
No. This is when I go over to someone else's house. I'm not marrying them.
All I'm saying,
I want to judge them based on how many pillows they have on their bed.
Is that there are certain things that you just don't need answers to.
No, I need answers to that.
What if their bedroom door is closed? You don't have access to the bedroom.
Are you looking in their bedroom? Are you opening up doors? Are you the guy that opens up
the
medicine cabinet?
Oh
yeah.
No. I'm just assuming that their house has really poor design where the bathroom also has a door that goes into the master bedroom that they sleep in.
People who have
you just
pillows
walk in?
too many pillows on the bed also have too many pillows on their couch.
That's true. That's
true.
true. And more annoying than the bed because you're constantly up and down on the.
Yeah.
You're always having to sit on the lip of the couch, which is this isn't comfortable.
Unless it's a couch that the back is the pillows.
Yeah, they do have couches like
That's just a poor couch buying decision. Like this person.
Are you going to judge him on that?
Trusted. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that your thing?
Is that your thing?
That makes
the couch?
poor decisions.
How comfortable is the couch?
I mean, I'm going with the toilet paper roll. The toilet paper needs to be hanging over the top. If it's hanging off the bottom, this is a person not to be trusted with any responsibility whatsoever. Avoid this person at all costs because clearly a history of making bad decisions.
I still think the proper way for toilet paper is to just take it off the thing and leave it on the countertop.
No.
Like a coffee mug, basically. Just like
then you're stuck in a two-handed toilet paper situation. There is an apparatus.
You get optimal control with that. Yeah, sometimes you pull a little too hard and a bunch falls off.
To hold the fucking toilet paper, and you're choosing to ignore that. Get yourself into a two-handed toilet paper situation. Where are you putting your phone during this?
Also, when you wash your hands, you come over and all of a sudden now you wetted the toilet paper because you washed your hands is on the same counter?
Look, I have a little stand for my phone, so I set it on the counter beside the toilet.
Or Twitch.
All right, I don't know if this counts, Briar, but I when I go over to someone's house, I judge if you have they offer you a drink, but specifically coffee, like the quality of the coffee that somebody will make. I don't know. I read volumes into that. Like if it's
what's like base level coffee that you choose? This is acceptable.
Well, if they're going out of the bag from like Starbucks or Pete's or something like that, some like just basic bitch. I don't know, like some beans? Basic
Starbucks and Pete's is your basic bitch coffee.
Oh hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. If it goes below that, we're having problems. You're catching hands.
Nice.
You're giving them the hands of the coffee beans.
Yeah,
wow.
That's a high bar. I'm not going to lie. That's a high bar.
No, it's not a high bar. Dude, they roast the crap out of their beans. They don't even bother. They don't even bother filtering their beans. They burn the crap out of their stuff.
It's burnt.
Yeah, consistently burnt.
Yeah.
I'm over here drinking coffee out of a Keurig. And when I run out of K-Cups, I'm getting into that instant.
I got a Rocket Giotto, Pope. You come
I'm not proud of it,
nice
but it's
espresso.
true.
I'm telling you, I'm getting like Stumptown. I'm getting quality high end.
Only likes his coffee if it's been pre-digested by some exotic animal before it's been
Monkey, yes.
Hey, there you go.
Monkey.
I am a huge snob for coffee, and it's because I can't drink a lot of it. It hurts my stomach. I want like really high end coffee.
You should seriously check out Community Coffee. It's pretty low acidity.
We order our coffee from San Diego.
I got a friend that does it. He has a coffee roasting business. That's what he does.
So
he'll roast blends for us.
Beautiful. Nice. Small batch.
I'll send you some, Pope. Yep.
Yeah.
Small batch.
What the fuck coffee?
He'll call me. He's
Ready coffee?
Where's the family coffee? Okay.
That comes in once a year.
Yeah, I've been tempted to try. I've been tempted to try. The Goths and Broman's King Coast. Yeah,
I got it for my dad for Christmas. Yeah. I got it for my dad for Christmas, and he really liked it.
I'm just, I know people are going to ask me, and if I don't want to like.
You're not going to like it?
I know, because I'm such a, elitist when it comes to that. Like,
give me your address, Pope. I'll send you a nice pound of coffee, dude. Blow your socks off coffee.
Yeah, I'm an elitist also. I was
Tefty an elitist? No.
when it came to coffee. I was in the alleyway where Blue Bottle Coffee was selling their coffee for the first time in San Francisco. Years
in an alley.
Yeah, they did it in an alleyway in San Francisco. No, they roasted their beans.
Why it was so good, Tefty?
It was incredible. Years later, they end up selling it to Nestle, and I'm like, you sold to Nestle for billions?
Downhill.
Oh,
that's when you say congratulations. Can I come hang out on your yacht? And
I bought your coffee before you had billions.
Basically, yeah.
My thing that I judge people on when I go to their house is if they have instruments, like a guitar or a piano, and nobody plays them.
Oh,
yeah.
Fake musicians.
It just looks fake music. They're props.
It's for decoration.
Yep,
or something.
decorative.
What if you've been slowly failing to learn it for the last 20 years or so?
That was my case.
Yeah, that's my case currently.
That's acceptable. At least you tried. It's not decoration.
I'm still trying.
Got pissed off at it and you hit it against the wall, so it has dents in it. It's character.
What if you just like collecting guitars or something because they interest you, but you just
like
fucking
swords?
suck
I
at
don't
playing.
go around chopping people's head off like a fucking Highlander, but I like swords.
Yeah.
That's a good
It's like magic cards, I love collecting them and playing the game, and I also like making poor analogies.
I thought you were going to say porn out of them, and I was getting real worried we were having another Cat and Pat
No,
story.
there is some fun Rule 34, but no.
What I judge people on is how stocked their fridge is. If I come over and it's like fresh, the fridge is just packed full of delicious stuff, I'm like, awesome. If it's empty and it only has condiments, then I'm kind of like, you don't know how to cook, do you?
or in my case, I just go to the store and get like enough food for like 2 days, cook it, because if I get too much food, then I risk it going bad.
Well,
so I make
if you're letting your food go bad in your fridge, I'm judging on that too.
Hefty, man. If you're not making your meals, if you're making your meals at home and you're cooking your food and you're not eating, chicken pot pies and stuff from the microwave, you're gonna be going through food, Patrick.
No, I just make like a big thing of food whenever I do make it. I make like a meal that will last me like 2 to 3 days.
Pat. You want your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner. It's different.
Gumbo is
things are
for
different.
When I was single, there was nothing in my fridge except for ketchup, mustard, beer, and a Brita water filter that was probably empty because I ate out just about every night. There was nothing in there.
I love to cook, man. And when I was single, I'd go. Highlight of my day was to get home and make put on music and make a big meal. It's great.
Luck says, very important question for each of you: Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur. Your answers may or may not affect my perception of you. You judged right now. What is it? Charmander, Squirtle?
I don't know
Bulbasaur?
what those are.
Oh boy.
Squirtle was easy mode. Charmander was hard mode. So I usually pick Charmander.
But there was a love for Bulbasaur too.
I see. I'm going Bulbasaur. Everyone thought that fire is really cool, so they go with Charmander, and then
Is this Digimon?
No, it's no.
Oh no, you made it so much
Pope
worse.
knows exactly what we're talking about, but he's trying to troll you.
Charmander could fly, so that, or when he became, he evolved and everything. So that's why I went with Charmander, but I'd probably Bulbasaur.
Did you teach your Charizard fly?
I don't remember. I played that game 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think I had to too.
I think I had to teach it because I don't think. Did he learn fly?
Yeah, that feels bad.
Yeah, that feels real bad, man.
Not a good move.
My parents didn't buy me handheld consoles because I already had at-home consoles, and so I didn't play Pokemon. All right?
Thank you, Tefty.
Is that your confession of the lifetime?
That's my confession. And if they put it on the Switch, I'll play it. But I don't understand your damn references.
Thank you. Me neither.
Send Coffee says, is Pope Bear a human pope with bear powers or a bear indoctrinated into popehood?
I think it just depends on my mood. I can be holy and with a little bit of bare necessities, or I can.
I like that. That's a good one.
But sometimes I gotta scratch my butt on trees and then judge others with my from up high.
Sipping some fine coffee while you scratch your butt on a tree.
Yeah.
I'm civilized.
Basic bitches drinking Folgers. God damn.
I'm over here hipster as fuck. I actually use the tree. I don't process this shit down to toilet paper.
Corbin Cadwell says, does a straw have two holes or one? If one, then how many holes does a train tunnel have? If two, then how many holes does a donut have?
All of them have one.
How many holes does a straw have?
One entrance, one exit, but one hole.
Yeah.
It's one hole.
One hole.
One. Yeah, it's one.
So how many holes does a donut have?
Well, it has two because the donut hole.
Yeah, exactly. Do you when you make the donut hole, is it plural? No, it's one hole. You made one donut hole.
No.
One.
There's the hole, but then the center that is a donut hole.
The hole.
Exactly. When you make the donut hole, the little bite thing.
Yes.
That's the hole.
It's one donut hole.
And then there's a hole in the donut.
Yeah, so exactly.
Two.
One.
Plus
it's one hole.
Two.
It's one hole.
Counter argument. None of them actually have holes.
Yeah.
Perforations.
It's not a hole.
It's not a hole.
A tunnel is not a hole.
It's a tunnel. You're right.
A tunnel. And a donut with a hole in it is not a donut hole.
It's a donut.
A straw. All right, there we go.
All right, we got this. I'm with Watts. I changed my mind. I'm with Watts.
Jeremiah Hart says, hey, DCP, put yourselves into Elon Musk's shoes. What do you shoot into space next? And also, did any of you buy a flamethrower?
I did not fly it.
I did not fly it. I didn't know. It was cheap, though. What, $400 for a flamethrower?
500.
500?
I contemplated.
I mean, it would have made
expensive.
a great stream accessory.
Hold up, can you explain this? Because I
On
didn't.
the back of the wall.
So-
Oh, Elon Musk's company.
Yeah, he's
sold,
putting stuff
like-
in space, right?
No, he sold flamethrowers.
Okay.
The Boring Company.
Yeah,
he was
set
making
up-
hats, and then they got tired of making hats, so made flamethrowers.
Nice.
And then they sold out in like a day. It was just crazy.
Yeah. He sent up a Tesla Roadster into space with a
Yesterday?
spacesuit, like in the driver's seat.
Mhm.
And there's all sorts of pictures of it on the internet, like with like the Earth in the rearview mirror and like cool
That's
pictures.
cool. Yeah.
It's on its way like on a trajectory past Mars.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm just thinking about the alien that comes to our galaxy and is flying by, and all he sees is like this guy sitting in the car seat. I don't know, what is that? Their first image of us?
Imagine
These
Han
dudes
Solo.
are dope.
Han Solo pulls up the Millennium Falcon and sees that on the side. He's like, all right.
Right.
I like it here.
These guys got down.
I saw a
These guys
Reddit
are
post.
fast.
I saw a Reddit post where they were asking Bungie to put a Tesla on Mars for
Mhm.
the next DLC, just to kind of like
That'd
a
be
total
hilarious,
beat
right?
up
Oh, that'd be
from like
cool.
hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So what do you guys send up? Like if you had the opportunity to send anything into space that you wanted, what would you send?
Anything into space.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go with an anime waifu, a giant one, a massive waifu.
You gonna send Natsuki into the air?
No. If anyone, we're gonna send Kana from Kobayashi Dragon Maid.
Okay.
I'm gonna send her, and then aliens will think they also have waifus. I like it, and then
Interesting.
yeah, yes, yep.
Yep. I don't know, man.
Maybe we could like send up North Korea or something. Wouldn't that be nice?
It's just the whole.
No,
But then
Chef's
what if
saying
they
Trump,
find
and I'm just gonna
aliens,
agree. Fuck
and
it, we're
then
getting
they-
political.
And then they find aliens, and then North Korea gets stronger than ever because now they have alien sport.
Wow.
Wow. What a
And now Tefty
twist.
just killed us all.
What a
Wow,
shocking twist. It's like the end of the
Plot
new
twist.
Cloverfield, if you guys watch it.
I can't wait to watch the made for sci-fi movie about this.
Can't wait. Netflix, get
Now
on
they
it.
have the Millennium Falcon too. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah, they got the Millennium Falcon. Yep. And the
Can't
Tesla
win.
car.
That's
I
all.
don't know,
you
I
need.
think, is it just me, or did anybody else think the Tesla car should have had one of those little bobblehead like Hawaiian dolls on the dashboard?
I just wanted to have a license plate that says "I break for nobody."
That's great.
That's what I want to send. I want to send a Winnebago.
I break for planetoids.
I don't know. I don't know what to send up.
Yeah,
That
me
was.
neither.
It's fucking hilarious that he did that though.
Yeah, I mean, good for him, right? What a publicity stunt.
It's good shit.
All right, that's it. That's all the Twitter questions.
Nice.
Cool.
Wow.
We did it.
We did it. We made
You
it.
said you skipped a bunch of them too. We didn't
What's
do
that?
all of them. Liar.
Well, we did. We did a 2.5 hour podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good.
That's a solid
The
amount.
recording's only saying 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Solid
So
point.
I'm disappointed
Well-
Patrick didn't say bacon baby.
look,
Yeah.
I'm trying to let that one die.
So I wasn't
Please.
here
No.
last week, and I really want to know what the bacon baby was. Could you please explain it to me?
I can explain
please.
it by
Oh,
saying
what are you
go
doing
watch the first 15 minutes of the last episode.
Yeah, you clearly didn't
And
watch the episode.
I did
but
watch.
Unbelievable.
I did watch the beginning when you guys said that I had told you I had explosive diarrhea. I want, for the record, to point out that I did not have explosive.
You
diarrhea.
going back on our discussion? That's really rude, Pooh.
I did not say that. It was not me. I would be proud of said explosive diarrhea, but I didn't have it, unfortunately.
I feel like you have to like stick to that story, otherwise you just played Iron Banner because you wanted to.
Oh
And that's
man,
no good either.
there's nothing like being in the middle of an Iron Banner match and having to run to the bathroom as fast as you can. You're
I know,
like,
and you'll get DC'd because of activity. Oh, it's the
no,
worst.
so you bring this controller with you, and then you're just like
Started
moving your
circles.
sticks around.
I've never done that.
No.
Never done that.
Never.
Poop bear. Hashtag.
I accidentally,
like
I
it.
accidentally called you Poop because I was talking about explosive diarrhea with you instead of Pope.
Yeah.
It slipped
Yeah.
out like
It slipped
Now,
explosive
now
diarrhea.
it's gonna be a thing.
Just
Now
squeezed
it's a
out.
thing.
It doesn't just slip out.
It does
It's
slip out
explosive.
sometimes. No, one time I was
Explosive
coughing.
doesn't slip. It's
I
just
was
like
coughing once and it slipped out.
But was it explosive?
Sometimes.
Oh man.
All right,
Well,
Patrick.
thank you everyone for tuning in this week. Yeah,
Number 71.
I fucking love you, chat.
71. Chat's rowdy right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right. Thank you all for tuning in this week. If you want to find more of me, I'm at Holtzmann_YT on Twitter, where you can find me training for a Magic the Gathering tournament. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome.
Sounds awesome.
What do you do to train? Never mind. I'm not going to ask.
You play.
I'm Briar Rabbit.
They find a card or two and they start lifting it, like to get their arm strength up.
Yeah. Magic card curls. Yep. About 5,000 reps a day.
A lot of deck lifts right there.
It's
He's
actually
got to lift
you
a lot of deck.
with your fingers so you can shuffle it. You know.
Yeah,
You've
there
seen
you go.
those Magic players, right? They're like the arms, like they don't want to like shake their hands when they're putting the card down. So
I heard they have huge forearms too.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
It helps with shuffling the deck.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on YouTube. Just look up Briar Rabbit. Streaming every afternoon on Twitch. Again, look up Briar Rabbit or talk to me on Twitter at the Briar Rabbit. Or I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. You can catch my streams, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. Typical 6 p.m. start time, and I have been doing some stream stuff on YouTube as well. Which is Tefty Teft. You can find. Yeah.
you're on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Miss 5000 Watts.
I swear to God, we're acting like this is the first time we've ever closed out a show. We've done like over 200 episodes together. Okay, you guys.
All right. I'm Toasted Butter. That's my dad, Peanut Butter.
Peanut butter.
We are on Twitch and Twitter at WTFGamenation. We do have a YouTube, but it's not at WTFGamenation. You can search it and find us there.
It'll be in the description on the YouTube channel.
It will
You
be.
guys should definitely check them out. It's a great community in their streams. I'd highly recommend jumping in there and giving them a follow. You may learn a thing or two from them on how to get your fire team through the next raid. This has been Pope Bear. You can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear. You can also make sure to follow the podcast Twitter account at DestinyCompod. We don't spam that account. We use it to announce the show, so make sure to put notifications on. If you're listening to this on iTunes or on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this, make sure to like us up there and leave a comment and rate us. It really helps a lot. So thanks again for watching or listening or however you're consuming us right now. However you are consuming me right now.
I like my podcast blended into a fine paste, and then
Do you throw some kale in there?
Fava beans.
Bacon?
No.
Bacon.
We go
Bacon,
bacon
kale.
there because well done
Bacon
is
and
not
kale?
correct.
Bacon,
Oh,
kale,
bacon
and a
makes kale better.
DCP podcast. Just throw a
Thanks for
banana
tuning in,
there.
everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Maybe we won't. Who can tell these things?
Yeah.